Up list as he recovers from his second ACL injury to his right knee in 13 months. He's going to miss the entire 2025 season. Meanwhile, taking a look at your baseball scoreboard, Mariners with the day off today. They'll get back to it at home. Finally back home. They'll be facing off against the Toronto Blue Jays. Right now, the Tigers are thrashing the Rockies 10-1. That game in the bottom of the seventh. Rockies come in with a 6-29 record. So that is game one of a doubleheader for them today. Meanwhile, other games that are in the books, the Twins take out the Orioles 5-2. It was the Rangers being shut out. Just 5 hits, no runs in the second game for Brett Boone as their hitting coach. They were shut out by the Red Sox 5-0. And the Royals hammer the hapless White Sox 10-0.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday to everybody. Beautiful day outside. We're starting to get a nice string of great weather. It's beautiful. The only thing that stinks about today, Mariners are not playing.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Eat that.
It's a bummer, man. We'll talk a lot about the Mariners. We're going to get into some Seahawks conversation. Paul Moyer will join us at 3 p.m. as he joins us each and every week. Mark Schlereth making a triumphant return to the program, at least for today. He's going to join us at 4 p.m. He is always radio gold. You never want to miss that. And then the Raleigh Show at 5 o'clock, a man who just remains on fire, remains clutch. Just such a massive part of this Mariner run that they're on right now. You're going to hear that coming up at 5 p.m. You guys can text in throughout the show, 866-979-3776. Do you share my feeling about the Mariners that it's kind of a bummer when they're not playing?
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder
I can't stand
if Mariner fans feel the same way. It's when things are rolling like they are, you just want it to happen every night. Right. I'm getting greedy. I just want to see them play every single night, which they almost do. So they deserve a day off, and they'll get back to it tomorrow. But, yeah, 9 straight series wins for the first time since franchise record 15 in a row. They won 15 series in a row back in 2001. That's when they set the record for 116 wins in a season. Still didn't get to a World Series. But, I mean, that's where you're approaching. I mean, 22-14. Yeah, it's 36 games. I get it. You got 100 and whatever games left. But it's the best start since 2003. So some interesting things happening here. It's not a statement that they're going to the World Series or this is going to be how it is for, every month for the rest of the season. But as we talked about yesterday, Dave, for those of you that didn't tune in after the game, just saying, I'm gonna soak up every bit of it. I'm gonna enjoy every bit of this while it's happening.
Yeah, and I think people are hanging around for our show after the postgame show when they win.
When they win, yeah.
Yeah.
When they lose, I think
exciting.
they're like, yeah, catch you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, I think the thing that's so exciting about it to me, anyway, is that the way that they're doing it. And we talked about this yesterday after the game, but, they scored 6 runs yesterday, and it was Cal scored, Randy, and then Masterboni, Tellez, Tavares, the new kid in town.
Tavares, yep.
Yep, and Demo. So I mean, everybody is chipping in, and really, and I'm not going to say that they're doing it without pitching, but if you look at what's going on right now as far as bottom of the order, they're getting on base, they're stealing bases. I mean, there's all kinds of good, and then just clutch moments, but. I showed you a picture this morning. Mark DeRosa was doing this whole homage to the Mariners, and like he had Dan Wilson out on the dock, with his fishing gear on, and they're getting on the boat, and then they're like,
"What was the fishing theme? Why the theme?"
They're the Mariners. I guess they're on a big fishing boat,
right.
And yeah, that's simple. But yeah, I mean, and then they had the captain. I showed you the picture of Cal Raleigh where he's got like a pipe.
And that's really the impetus for your praise of this whole segment is they made Cal Raleigh the captain.
Actually, no. The one thing at the very end was that it was like, here are the deckhands, and Julio's the motor and all this, and it was just kind of corny, and they were just having some fun with it.
Where'd they put Demo?
Demo was one of the deckhands.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, with I think Randy Rosarena, and he had Brian Wu in there too. But maybe just a ranking of who's most important or whatever. But at the end, he's like, well, and look who they have in the crab pot that they're pulling up out of if it's a crabbing boat or whatever. And it was George Kirby and Logan Gilbert because we don't have them right now. And so it prompted me to kind of look up where the numbers are. And you did this the other day, Bob, about as far as the pitching goes. And then again, they're like number 12 in ERA. Quality starts, they're number 15. Hits given up, they're number 20. Opponent batting average, they're number 24. You look at those numbers last year.
Oh, yeah.
They were number 1 in almost every one of the categories that I just mentioned. ERA, they were number 1. Quality starts, they were number 1. Earned runs, they were number 1. I mean, it was the only thing I think was home runs last year. They're number 6 this year, but last year they were number 14 as far as home runs given up. But yeah, I mean, you look at every single opponent batting average, number 1. So I mean, those, and I'm not saying that they're going to get back to be number 1, but this is a rotation that is worthy of top 5 type of rankings.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Bryce Miller has to figure it out. He needs to get out of his own head. And then, you hopefully you get Kirby back, and you get, Brian Wu, keep doing, what you're doing. Get, he's had one bad outing, I think, or 2, but for the most part, been really good. He's got more quality starts than anybody on the team. And then, if you can, it looks like, everybody else is kind of coming along. So, yeah, I mean, and that includes the bullpen as well. So, yeah, it's been amazing what they've been able to do offensively, for sure, because those numbers you had the other day, I mean, top 5 in almost every single category.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. Look, I don't care how they win as long as they win. It's a lot of fun to watch them hit the ball. It's a lot of fun to watch them drive in runs when runners are in scoring position, because I felt like I got beaten down by that stat last year where we'd look at box score after box score after box score, and they'd say runners in scoring position, 3 for 13. 2 for 13. I mean, just dreadful numbers. Or runners left on base, 9, 12, 8. Just so many opportunities. They just could not plate these runs. So it's been cool to see what they've been able to do offensively. We'll see if they can sustain it, but for right now, I am loving it. 360 says, when they have a day off, I'm like, didn't they just have one? Yeah. I get it. I'm with you. I'm just loving watching this team. I'm going to enjoy it while they're rolling, and hopefully they can keep it going. Things get a little tougher here. You got the Blue Jays coming to town. You got the Yankees coming to town. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it's not like this has been built on, beating up on bad teams. They've beaten some good teams and some good pitchers. So this is not fool's gold in that way. It could be just a high. Don't expect them to hit at this level the whole season, but man, it's worthy of being celebrated. I'll say that, because it just does not happen often enough. Now, meanwhile, Dan Wilson was talking about, just what stands out to him right now about this team.
It's typical of this group. This is an incredible group. We keep saying it over and over again, but those are the kind of things you see from this group. And you talk about Cal last night. I thought he had 2 huge blocks in the 9th inning today with Mooney out there, guy at first base, keeping him there. Those are huge plays. So everybody's doing their little part. We talked about little things a lot, and that's what we're seeing. Little things all over the place from everybody, this is what happens when you do those things.
And what he's hitting there to me is just how you can look at some of the numbers for some of these guys like Rowdy Tellez or Rosarena, look at their average and go, they're not doing a ton. You look at the on base, especially for Rosarena, who leads the team in walks and is amongst the leaders in baseball. He's getting on base, but when they get hits is almost as important or more important than how many they've had to this point, right? I mean, they've just been clutch. Randy Rosarena's had a number of clutch moments. You look at the average and go, it's not great. Same with Tellez, but Tellez has come up with some huge moments that have led to wins, and that's been true up and down the lineup with guys that are hitting well, Polanco, J.P. Crawford, Cal, and others that aren't hitting well. when they do come up with hits, they just seem to have come up in just really crucial situations that have led to wins for this team. So you're getting contributions, you're getting it each night from different guys, and it's just, it's I don't know, it's a testament to them maybe being relaxed, a level of belief, level of confidence that, all right, yeah, like yesterday, got down 3-0 right out of the gate. It was not a good day for Wu. It was his worst start of the year. And then to his credit, he gave him 6 innings, kept him in the game, cut off the damage. It was 5-0. You're thinking, all right, this is the series that they lose. This is where the streak comes to an end. And then the fact that they were able to come back and win that game is a big deal in the way that they approach another game where they fall behind.
Yeah. And other little things happening, little surprises like Julio with 6 games with no strikeouts.
Yeah.
This, that is huge for him. And maybe, he becomes more of like a steady, because he's been kind of streaky, right? He starts off very slow, and then you see these, month or month and a half or even 2 weeks of stretches where he's just killing it. He's just blowing everything up, but then all of a sudden goes in the tank. And so now he's starting to become more solid. And in the meantime, we don't talk enough, I think, about how good he is defensively. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, the no-fly zone isn't just something for the fans. I mean, that is real. And, yeah, he's also, and, if he gets just a little bit hotter, we'll really be happy. But he's doing some really good things right now. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about him coming up, because I think he's hitting better than I think people realize at this point. Yeah, he's not launching the ball out of the park left and right. He's got 6 home runs, and he's ahead of his pace of last year, certainly. But we'll get into some of the numbers with Julio coming up. But meanwhile, we had John Morosi on yesterday. Any of these conversations you missed, by the way, you can find on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. But Morosi was just talking about the core 4 bats that have carried the Mariners to this, throughout this stretch of winning 9 series in a row.
Cal Raleigh and the power that he's supplied has been real. Obviously, Arozarena has become a dependable bat for them, certainly someone that they did not have at this stage last season. So I think that's a really important and meaningful step that they've been able to add him. And then Polanco, certainly. And J.P. Crawford's played really well. I think that's the other piece of things, that he has played in a way that I think is really important. And again, with the time he missed last year, and he just had a bit of a down year, we didn't see this version of J.P. Crawford. He has, again, been one of their most important players.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should shut my yapper about Jorge Polanco, because I'm like, I just want him to be a DH. I don't really want to see him in the field, and I don't want to see him trying to steal bases or anything like that. And he's back hitting on the left side. He's or right side.
Right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has been hitting left.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's back on the right side, so I guess he's okay. But you just worry about him, because he's just been he's so fundamental to this team. He's got 9 home runs, and he looks like he's okay. He looks like he's healthy. So yeah, just kind of a surprise there. I mean, we were all worried about him playing at third base, and now I'm just like, hey, I'll take him as the DH.
Yeah, the DH is fine. You can hide the glove and just have him hit.
Yeah,
I don't miss him in the field, and I know he probably wants to play in the field. They were talking about him on the broadcast, saying the throw from third. He was talking about how it was weird for him and it didn't feel comfortable, and some of it was overcoming the injury, and he obviously feels more comfortable at second base because that's where he's played the majority of his career. But even then, I just think he doesn't need to be in the field barring an emergency. Yeah. I would just make him your DH and just roll with that, because it's working, and you're not missing his glove. It'd be different if he were just a vacuum out there and you're missing what he does defensively. That's a different conversation. He's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So leave him where he's at. He is killing it. It's beautiful. And same with Munoz. I know we talk about him a lot because he deserves it, but it's amazing to watch what this guy's been doing.
The 1-2 on the way, and it's strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. Munoz strikes out a guy who doesn't strike out, Jacob Wilson, and the Mariners come from behind this afternoon and beat the Athletics 6-5. The Mariners have now won 9 consecutive series. The last time a Mariner ball club has done that was way back in 2001.
Man. So, yeah, Munoz is just nails. He is just unbelievable.
It's funny, you can't. nobody can sit around and just enjoy it because they're like, oh my gosh, he's pitching in too many games right now.
Yeah, well, that was Morosi who told us, who was talking about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, just enjoy it. You know, he's a big, strong guy, but no, I mean, you don't want to go whistling through the graveyard, right? Like, oh, no problem. Yeah, he'll just keep doing this. Well, there'll be a price to pay, but he is a big, strong dude.
He is that, and he's an all-star right now. Cal Raleigh's an all-star right now. Jorge Polanco would be an all-star right now. Yeah. Maybe J.P. Crawford would be an all-star right now.
When's the last time J.P. Crawford did not have a hit? I think it was.
Well, he's got a 15-game hit streak going right now.
Yeah, so it was at Toronto. Toronto was the last time he did not get a hit. Incredible.
Yeah.
And it's not like, but like he's getting multi-hit games, or about half of them, as far as the streak is going right now.
Hey, a reminder, if you miss any part of the show or you just want to go watch things over again, which we don't blame you, I'd watch it again too. You can check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page. You can search for Seattle Sports on all social media platforms to find our segments like Seahawks conversations with players, Mariner players, interviews, all of that stuff. Everything we do is up there for you, so check it out. Meanwhile, what do you think? Is there an obvious difference in this team under Dan Wilson versus Scott Servais that you see that just visually, like, this looks different?
A couple of years in 2023, they had a pretty good clutch thing going at that time. Yeah, a lot of, I remember Cal had some ridiculous numbers with runners in scoring position, and so yeah, I mean, it wasn't that way last year for sure, but I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on, like, is it the coaching? It seems to me like, especially on the offensive side, is that the message has been simplified. And really, that's kind of what Bryce Miller needs as well. He needs to simplify things. I think he's thinking too much. But, yeah, it's hard to do when you're up there, like, trying to hit and big league pitching, and a lot of thoughts are running around. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that. And it just seems like all of those things, all of that white noise has been eliminated.
Yeah, the two things that stand out to me, and I guess maybe more the credit would go to Edgar and Seitzer on this, is the strikeouts dropping dramatically. I mean, for years they've been atop the league. Yeah, one or two. So they are way down in strikeouts. They are way up in walks. They actually walked pretty well last year when you look at the numbers, but just the level of plate discipline, that visually is different to me. And then they're aggressive on the base paths, just in terms of they've got 43 stolen bases right now. They're tied for third in Major League Baseball. So you got 11 different players that have at least 2 stolen bases to this point of the season. You're only 36 games in. So just visually, I'm sure, we can't really speak to the vibe or, how the message is being delivered. We're not in there when that stuff's going on. The players can talk about that. But just as a fan from the outside, and you guys can weigh in on this as well, 866-979-3776. What's different to you? What's different to your eye looking at this team versus when it was Scott Servais and Brant Brown and Jarrett DeHart, now that it's Dan Wilson and Edgar Martinez and Kevin Seitzer? What's visually the biggest difference to you? And those are the two for me. Just the discipline at the plate and then the aggressiveness on the base paths. Those are the ones that stand out to me.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is you've seen a couple of times, and I was talking about this yesterday, that remember the at-bat, I'm trying to remember what game it was in the series, where Julio gets up there and he swings at a ridiculous pitch.
Yeah, it was against Miller.
It was like a cliche of what has been wrong with it, like down and away. Just throw it to him, and he gathers himself and he goes back to a place. And then I think he ended up working a walk on that at bat.
Yeah, that's the one where he was fired up and yes, and pumping his fists.
And then you've seen Cal step out of the box a couple times and kind of berate himself. You can hear him, you can see him, like the way what he's saying and talking about that. Like, I don't know, it looks to me like they've been given the right tools. The hitters and those are two pretty good players there, but it just seems like that you see guys kind of recenter and like, okay, I'm going to go back to my approach. I got a little excited there, and like they have somewhere to go as hitters. At least that's what it looks like to me. And I just remember that as during a game, if you have really good coaching, you go back to it and you remember, what have I been doing all week and preparing for? Let's get back to that. And it's just kind of my impression of how the coaching is taking effect.
All right, let's take two.
Some NFL news. The Panthers have released Jadeveon Clowney. Okay, we won't go down that route again. But every time he's a free agent, I know that gets circled around kind of jokingly. But yeah, he's a free agent again. And the NFL announced today that they're going to release their full schedule of international games on Tuesday morning. There's some thought that the Seahawks might be the London participant, so we'll see if that happens. Full schedule release on Wednesday.
I don't know. Maybe Coach McDonald wants Clowney back. He had 9.5 sacks with him.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know physically where he's at in his career. I'm kind of kidding, but you never know. Maybe he looks at him and goes, no, I know what buttons to push with this guy. He can be an asset, and maybe they get him on the cheap at veteran minimum or something. I have no idea. Maybe he's got nothing left in the tank. We'll find out. But he was a big conversation piece for quite a while here.
Remember when me and Willie McGinnis got in an argument over whether Jadeveon Clowney was a good run player or not? He was good against the run here.
Willie said he's not.
I know, but he was playing well here against the run. But maybe that's maybe McDonald can unlock him or something. But by the way, I would like to go to England. I think that would be cool. I think it'd be cool to have an overseas game.
Well, I know you want to go.
Don't you hate the British accent?
I can't understand it.
So you want to go to a country where you couldn't understand it?
Most countries have language I can't understand.
Yeah, I don't,
including this one.
If I guess if the players want to go and it doesn't impact them physically, then I'm fine with it. As a Seahawks fan, I'd rather they're here, or I don't know. Would it take away one of their home games or one of their road games? What would it be called?
That sucks.
If it takes away one of their home games, I don't want it.
It would be a road game.
It'd be a road game? Okay.
But Bob would have to wake up early, so then,
that's the problem.
I'd be watching on the DVR.
Now, the Pirates fired manager Derek Shelton today after they lost their 7th straight yesterday to fall to 12-26 on the season, and a tough travel schedule for the Mariners' next opponent. So the Blue Jays, they still have to play tonight against the Angels, a 6:38 first pitch on a getaway day, and they've blown back-to-back leads against the Angels. They've lost the first 2 of that series.
Oh, and the Angels are not very good right now, and hopefully this goes extra innings. I hope they burn through the bullpen. Starter gets knocked out early. Somehow the game's tied in the 9th. They go to extra innings, and they're just going one bullpen arm after another, and they get done 12, 13 innings, and they hop on the plane and drag their just beaten down carcasses here.
Yeah. Yeah, what is you think, I wonder what time they're supposed to get to the ballpark. That, like, if you look at when the game starts and the travel and everything, I mean, you're probably not going to get here in Seattle until like 2 o'clock in the morning.
That'd be a shame.
2:30, 3.
Well, we'll take it. Extra innings. Let's go. Extra innings. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Coming up, we might have to pump the brakes when it comes to the excitement around one Seahawks draft pick. Tell you what that's about. Coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do.
Incredible comeback again from this group.
At-bat by at-bat, and they find a way.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays, with Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
When you have really good leaders, it makes it easy.
Gia arrived at Lee Johnson after 10 years at another dealership.
You know your job, but then you have people who you can rely on to help you with the big stuff that you need that support from. And I've gotten that every day with my service manager, with our assistant service manager, with even like our GM and our GSM. The way that, we're now on the showroom together, we are so close-knit just as a department. My service manager here, he's always open to teach you whatever you want to know. He just wants everybody to do good around him, and if somebody wants to learn something, I'm here to do it. And I've never had a service manager like that before. They're really good at promoting from within. That's one thing that I've learned from working here. I see people start out as a lot porter, and people work their way all the way up to being a general manager.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Did you know that your windows and doors are your main source of energy loss? At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, our windows with triple weather stripping and gasket seals are up to 25% more efficient than Energy Star standards. LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you, 866-979-3776. Looking at the Seahawks and the player that we talked about this, Dave, after the draft, that the player most people were interested in hearing about. Maybe not most confident that they're going to be a star. Everybody was excited they drafted a guard with their first overall pick. But the player that generated the most conversation, Jalen Milroe. I think people are intrigued by that on a lot of different reasons. And, you know, he's a guy that I think people are hoping could be the eventual successor and be your franchise guy, a la Russell Wilson, third-round guy after you spent money on a big-time free agent, you know, same way they did with Matt Flynn back in the day. Obviously, it's different money now, but
well, yeah, I mean, look, quarterbacks generate lots of conversation. I mean, if this is a you know, a third or fourth or fifth round you know, offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, oh, wow, I wonder if we can, you know, use him in this way and that way.
What's his name again? That's what we'd be saying.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just how it goes. But, this one was very intriguing just from the standpoint of what they went through as far as the quarterback situation, from Geno asking to be traded to, you know, signing Sam Darnold to now drafting Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, and bringing Drew Lock back into the fold. But Daniel Jeremiah on with Brock and Salk. He was asked if he thinks Milroe is a franchise quarterback.
I don't. I just think there's so much distance to travel in the pass game. But, I mean, hey, let's see where it all goes. I know there's a lot of raw stuff in there, a lot of ability in there. But it's just, to me, there's a lot of assembly required.
A lot of assembly required. That's an interesting way to put it. But
yeah, I like the way you put that. But, yeah, I mean, I think what we do after the draft, you just kind of, you know, like you made the comparison to, you know, when they had Matt Flynn here and Russell Wilson. And then, you know, and I know I was saying, hey, look, maybe they can develop him into a quarterback. But, you know, you just kind of you like, okay, that can happen. Then you sort of shelf it. But now let's think about what really is that going to take.
Yeah.
Like he said, lots of assembly.
Assembly required, lots of road to travel, however he put it. Yeah, so he's, I guess the easy way of saying it, he's much more raw than Russell.
Yeah.
Russell was a much more refined passer. He had his passing skills developed at a much higher level than where Milroe currently is.
I would say so. Yeah. Definitely.
As a passer. I mean, he's a great athlete, obviously. He's fast. He's faster than Russell. He's bigger. But the overall skill of the quarterback passing the ball is not where it should be, or you'd want it to be, I guess.
Well, and I think Jeremiah, what he's doing is just sort of pumping the brakes a little bit because, I mean, it was you get this shiny new toy. Hey, we can do all kinds of things with this guy. And so, you know, I mean, I think that's kind of how you categorize it in your mind. You think, oh, okay, yeah, that'll happen. And we'll see. I mean, look, Sam Darnold is your main guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's the draft, and so we're excited about the young guys, but don't forget about the veterans. And everybody was pretty excited over the whole Sam Darnold thing and the contract, and they can get out after 1 year. So, yeah, I mean, it's time to start thinking that way, you know, now that the draft is over.
Well, he was asked whether he thinks the Seahawks' next franchise quarterback is currently on the roster.
I think that the fact that there's a pause there probably is not great in terms of the confidence. But I think they can win playoff games with Sam Darnold. I do. I think Sam's good enough to do that. I think they put the right things in place around him, continue to build up. I mean, I don't think what he did last year was a fluke. I know the way it ended was not what anybody wanted to see. But I still think the ability's in there for him to do that. Now, I also have always talked about the confetti test, and that is if you have a quarterback on your roster that you can imagine the confetti falling on him, I don't know that they have that guy.
Well, that's not very positive.
Yeah. And well, so he thinks that he can win lots of games, and did he say playoff? Get you to the playoffs,
but then the confetti's not going to fall.
Not the big one.
No, that wasn't designed to make me feel good.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. You can do it all kinds of different ways. So, but you know, if he's really what he's talking about, is he Josh Allen? Is he Lamar Jackson? Is he Patrick Mahomes? Probably not. So, and I would agree with him on that, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this guy's had such an unusual career that it'll be interesting to see what Sam Darnold does, because
maybe he can be Dilfer.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're Dilfer, don't you hate being the one the one representative of you don't need a good quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Look at Dilfer. Just to always be the name that is brought up as the example of a not so great quarterback yet just good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Do you think if you're Trent Dilfer, you would put your Super Bowl ring on your middle finger?
Probably, man.
And show it to everyone.
He's the first name. He's not the. I know Brad Johnson, others get brought up, but he's the main one. He's the one that people defer to right away.
Yeah, why not Brad Johnson?
I don't know. They default to Dilfer. Yeah. But anyway, Jeremiah was talking about the idea of Milroe. The thing we've heard about, well, they can develop some packages. They can get him out there in certain situations and really take advantage of his athleticism and all of this. He talked about, in his opinion, never seems to work when a team says they're going to put a quarterback into a game for a set of package plays.
I would say that maybe conservatively the 15th time I've heard about a quarterback entering into the league that's going to play a package of plays, and I can tell you we're 0 for 15. It never happens. It's always discussed, and it is. You know what it is? It's always one of those things, those ideas that's great upstairs, and you come up with this upstairs plan, and then when the message gets delivered downstairs, something gets lost in translation, and that never happens. So we'll see. I mean, again, I think it sounds fun. Let's get him a package of plays down in the red zone, some short yardage stuff, and it's been a long time since Cordell Stewart was doing that with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a word he said. I was so distracted by Salk's evil villain laugh.
I was going to say,
what the hell's he laughing at?
The devil's laugh.
He sounded like this sinister character, like he's old school tying somebody to the train tracks. He's got one of those little handlebar mustaches. He's twirling it, going. What was he laughing at?
That was the
what
villain
was so funny?
in Dudley Do-Right.
Yeah, whatever it was, but it just
dastardly something.
He's cracking up in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of had that. I don't have the evil laugh, but it was an interesting point because
0 for 15. So did they not say that when Taysom Hill came into the league? I mean, he's the default example of a quarterback that you use in other ways and develop packages for.
But like to his point, pretty much the only one. I mean, I'm trying to think. He mentioned Cordell Stewart. I'm trying to remember any other quarterbacks that come in and the special.
Well, who was the other guy in the Steelers? He was a receiver, but he was a quarterback as well.
Oh, Cordell Stewart?
Randall.
Randall, yes.
Oh, Randall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
we're going way back. That should say something that you have to go that far back. But
yeah. But look, I mean, you've got Sam Darnold coming in here. And again, the draft just happened. And so we're all, fired up about especially the Jalen Milroe thing. And why? Because it's the most important position that you could have just nailed down on your team. I mean, if you have that, if you're the Bills or the Chiefs or the Ravens, I mean, you're set. And so that's what everybody's trying to get to that. So I think that's why all the excitement. Again, Daniel Jeremiah pumping the brakes a little bit on, because I think he's right. Because the first thing I thought about, he's like, oh, these packages of plays, and I know I've heard people talk about, what about 6 or 7 or 7 to 10 plays per game? Well, what about Sam Darnold? I mean, Sam Darnold's the main attraction here, and he's going to run the offense, if everything works out the way it should, better than anyone else, right? So, but now you bring that guy in, and I mean, it's cool to think about, but I think it'll be very interesting, and we'll look back on this hopefully when we get into the season and just see where we're at as far as that, because I think Daniel Jeremiah might be right.
Yeah,
that by the time you get there, and like he said, going from this notion and idea from scouts and people that are talking about him during the draft to okay, now we're putting the product on the field. We got coaching. We got our starting quarterback. How's he going to feel? And I don't think he's going to be any kind of a problem at all, Sam Darnold, that is. But as far as if this guy gets some reps, whatever, he just wants to win. But, you have a guy here that you want to get into a rhythm and make sure he gets all the reps. And Mike McDonald already said this. He said, look, Darnold's going to be taking 90% of the snaps in camp.
Well, maybe they'll buck the trend with Jalen Milroe. Maybe they'll be 1 for 16 now.
1 for 16.
We'll see.
I mean, it's cool. I don't want to squash everybody. I mean, I do agree with Daniel Jeremiah.
It's doomsday, Dave.
But I think he's got a point there. And look, if it happens, I think it would be great. Like you always say, Bob, if I'm wrong, then I'll be happy about it. I would like to see him play, in 7 to 10 games. And my reason for the enthusiasm is the 3rd and short and the 4th and short. We need to pick those up.
Right. I'm just going to hear this laugh one more time.
Yeah. I would say that maybe conservatively the 15th time I've heard about a quarterback entering into the league that's going to play a package of plays, and I can tell you we're 0 for 15. It never happens. It's always.
How was that?
Mike should have like a thin little mustache that he's twirling while he says that.
Oh, you slay me, Daniel Jeremiah. All right, coming up, Julio has quietly turned in one of his best stretches of the season. So what are the expectations moving forward? We'll talk about that next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do.
Incredible comeback again from this group.
At-bat by at-bat, they find a way.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays. With Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in Seattle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $2,500 off an energy-efficient Bryan cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
Hey, it's Graz here. Getting a quick round or range session in before work makes the day so much more fun and is a big-time stress reliever. Take advantage of one of the 11 local premier courses nearby. Inter Bay, Jackson, Bill Wright, West Seattle, Cedar Crest, Bellevue, Linwood, Walter Hall, Legion Memorial, Lake Padden, and the newest course, the Ocean Shores Golf Course. Practice on the range with top tracer at Jackson, Inter Bay, and Bill Wright Golf Complex. Play the courses, play virtual, play premier, premiergolfcenters.com.
or down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Hey, Mike Salk here with special guest Ryan Roland Smith. And we love having Hyphen on the show to talk a little baseball. But today, talking about something a bit more personal, yet really exciting. Hyphen, share all the good news.
Thanks, Mike. Look, I've been hearing for about 2 years now how you did the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan and how you lost a ton of weight. I decided to see what the program was all about, and I'm so glad I did. So far, I've lost 30 pounds in just 60 days, and my only regret is not starting sooner.
Well, I'm happy for you. What's been the best part of the program so far?
Honestly, how simple it's been. There's no crazy exercises, no counting calories or scary shots or injections, no side effects or any of that stuff. I feel healthier, I'm sleeping better, I'm eating delicious meals, and the accountability plus communication from the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic team has made it fun.
Man, that is awesome, buddy. Would you recommend it?
Yes. To anyone listening, I was in your shoes. Just schedule a 15-minute consult at Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. It's all you have to do to start.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Dave Wyman here with an incredibly special guest, the mayor of the city of Lacey, Andy Ryder. Andy's a proud Seattle sports listener and recently underwent successful treatment for prostate cancer. His treatment method? Swedish CyberKnife. Andy, tell us about your treatment.
The entire treatment was just 5 days, less than an hour a day. I spent more time commuting to the appointment than actually being in treatment.
Any side effects during or after?
I've had very few side effects. I've been very lucky to not have some of the side effects that I was worried about with other treatments.
What would you say to anyone considering prostate cancer treatment?
I'm feeling very confident about my treatment with CyberKnife, and I absolutely recommend it for anyone who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Thank you, Andy, and congratulations. Reach out to Swedish CyberKnife directly. You don't even need a referral. Go to swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, we'll talk with Paul Moyer, his weekly conversation, so stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, taking a look at Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez has quietly been getting on a roll here. He's had back-to-back games with multiple hits in each game. He's 5 for his last 9. He's had at least one hit. I was looking through his game log last night. He's had at least one hit in 14 of the last 18 games. So he's been getting on base, whether it's a walk, a hit. He's been finding ways, home run here and there. Feels like he's starting to find it a bit. Sort of quiet, which might be good. Might be good because the other, I'm wondering if he feels a little less pressure since others are, because Polanco's just on a tear and JP's on a tear and Cal's coming up with these clutch moments and just, throughout the lineup, other guys are having the spotlight put on him. And I'm wondering if he's just kind of quietly succeeding under that, like, all right, I'm finding my rhythm, I'm getting there, and not all the focus is on me.
Well, when Jared Kelenic, when he did have success in Atlanta after he left here, that was kind of the talk about him, like the pressure wasn't on him. Remember when he came in, I think it was Servais, we had a big meeting upstairs, and they were talking about Jared Kelenic and just 5-star. Type of five tool guy, 5-star guy. I mean, just he's everything. He does everything, and there was just pressure on him. So, good point. I think Julio's doing the little things. I loved that when he kind of the one walk that he worked. I mean, it just showed me. I just felt like a lot of times last year, and then throughout the slow start, he was just being stubborn. And I feel like now he's starting to kind of let the message come through, and he's being patient, and it's really nice to not have to be the guy all the time. So, and look, he's the face of this franchise. I mean, Cal's starting to take over, but I mean, he's the guy that looks like he is going to be, the face of this franchise for a long time.
Yeah, Jordan Schusterman was on with of Yahoo Sports on with Bump and Stacy, and kind of talking to the same thing here, saying it's it's great to see this Mariners offense doing what it's doing without Julio having to carry the weight of it.
The thing is with Julio, like, he hasn't had to do all of it, and I think that is what is most encouraging about this start for Seattle's offense. Is it hasn't just been about him. Now, obviously, because he's the face of the team, when he strikes out in big spot, of course, it feels more significant. And he still has at bats where he's swinging at pitches that nobody should be. Of course, that's still happening. But like I've always said, if he's still giving you that Gold Glove defense in center and making a difference on the bases, he's on pace once again to be, a 4 to 6 WAR player, which any team in baseball would love to have in center field. And if he can kind of get going on a hot streak and combine that with what the rest of this lineup is looking like, now we're really starting to talk about a well above average offense, not just a good one.
Yeah, I mean, quietly kind of getting hot. I mean, you look, and I joke around about, in the month of May, well, they played 6 games in the month of May, but in those 6 games, he's hitting .333, .407 on base, slugging .583, .991 OPS. So he's trending the right way at the very minimum. If you're a pessimist about Julio Rodriguez, a Julio Rodriguez critic, hater, whatever it is, you have to at least acknowledge, dude, he's starting to find it. He's starting to trend the right way. And it's been going on for, like I said, he's had at least 1 hit in 14 of the last 18 games.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then the strikeout thing, too. We talked about this yesterday, that at this point last year, he had 44 strikeouts, and it was the same number of at-bats, and he's at 33 right now. So he's starting to cut him back a little bit. And then
has yet to strike out in the month of May.
Yeah. Let's keep it going, man. I'll tell you what.
6 games in a row without a strikeout. That's big.
I think there is. I don't know if he feels it, and I don't know if he is in tune with the media. He's handled it really well. I haven't seen any kind of outburst or anything from him. He has been just exactly what you want, and I know that he knows that pressure exists, and hopefully he's shielding himself from any criticism. But I just think even if he has heard something, he's handled it great. He really has. He's just been very classy about the whole thing.
Yeah, he's
because he does get screamed at when and that's part of being the leader, right? But he does. There is a lot of angst sort of directed at him because of him having the big contract and him being the face of the franchise.
Well, he's been propped up as being the next Griffey, the next A-Rod, the next Ichiro, the next superstar of this team. What if he doesn't turn into the superstar? What if he just becomes a very good player? He's just really good, not superstar. There is that distinction, right? There's a lot of really good players. Like I don't know. I'm trying to think of. I mean, you look at Judge, you look at Ohtani. Those are superstars. Look at Freddie Freeman. He's a very good player. He's an all-star, but he's not a superstar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just those. There's a handful of players that reach that level of superstardom. I think we use that term pretty loosely, but I kind of qualify with, there's really good. There's all-star level players who you love to have on your team, and they're going to be in the all-star game probably more often than not. But superstar, I don't know if he's going to be that or not. We'll find. It's still early. We'll find out. But would it be okay if he's just, hey, he's really good?
If he's Freddie Freeman, yeah. Because look, the longer you go, the more his contract is going to start to look cheap, right?
Yeah.
So every year,
comparatively speaking, yeah.
Up. What year was it where he went down and hit the most home runs in the home run derby? He didn't win, but he still had like the most home runs. Was that
total?
Was that 22 or 23? Anyway, coming out of that, I mean, I think that's where everybody started to put pressure on him as like a superstar. Look at Julio, and I remember them talking about it on MLB Network, and this guy is going to be the face of this franchise, and and it. I mean, look, he's been very good, but it's not like he's reached what everybody was talking about it, and I feel like he's handled that really well.
Yeah, well, and we'll see. Maybe there's still he's far from a finished product. Right, he just turned 24 in December, so he's far from a finished product, and we've seen stretches where he does play like a superstar. He does look like that. It's just the superstar is, April through September, hopefully into October. It doesn't mean they don't slump somewhere in between, but you're getting consistent performance out of those guys, and that's why they're superstars. There's just a handful of them. All right, coming up, we're sure the Abandoned Boys have plenty of thoughts on the Mariners' hot stretch. We'll check in with the leader of the group, Paul Moyer. Is he the leader?
Of the Abandoned Boys?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, we're going to talk to him next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 7.
Allowed the second fewest. Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
This year, tee it up at home with Synthetic Turf Northwest. Dial in your yard and your short game is sure to follow. Synthetic Turf Northwest is your synthetic grass expert. Install a custom backyard putting green or just a mud and mow-free lawn the neighbors will envy. They do it all. Residential, commercial, and turf supply. With locations in Woodinville and soon Fife. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
We at Three Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. Three Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners with a day off today after winning their 9th series in a row yesterday in Sacramento against the A's. They'll welcome the Blue Jays to town starting tomorrow. We'll be broadcasting live from Edgar's Cantina at the start of what will hopefully be their 10th consecutive series win. Meanwhile, some finals in today. Twins take out the Orioles 5-2. It was the Rangers being shut out by the Red Sox 5-0. White Sox fall hard to the Royals 10-0. They are now 10-28 on the season. And the Tigers handing it to the Rockies, who lost their 30th game of the season, 10-2. The final of that, the Rockies are now 6-30 on the year. Speaking of bad teams, the Pirates have fired manager Derek Shelton following a very rocky opening month of the season. Saw Pittsburgh quickly slip into last place in the National League Central. GM Ben Cherington made the announcement today. Bench coach Don Kelly will take over for Shelton.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This is the moment many wait for.
The most entertaining.
A man of wisdom, a man of experience, Dave.
The most informative.
To bring light to a dark subject. To bring positivity to a negative world.
The incredible Paul Moyer.
Moyer out.
The incredible Paul Moyer is with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. How are you, Paul?
I missed you, Bob. I didn't get quite that introduction last week. It was.
Did they cheat you?
Dave and Lefko just I was like, yeah, Paul's on.
We got this guy, Paul.
There's just lots of jealousy over that. I just can't handle it sometimes.
It's the Wyman and Bob show. I mean. You should feel good.
I just like it that Bob is like, it's like he's scolding me in that open. He's a man of respect, Dave. Like I have to be told that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I got to remind him, Paul. I got to make him aware of your greatness. And it's great to have you on as always. And I would imagine that the text exchange between you and the rest of the group, the Bandon boys, is fast and furious. The joy after 9 series wins in a row. What are those conversations like? How is everybody feeling? Do they feel like this is real, or do they feel like, all right, is there some hesitation to buy into it the way there is with some Mariners in the fan base here? Mariner fans in the fan base?
Well, obviously very excited. I think there's a little bit of reservation to it, just because last year we had a 10-game lead, but we were down 5-0 yesterday, and I think it was my son or somebody I think it was him, and he goes, this game's over. And I said, this isn't the same team as last year.
Yeah.
And, I said, let's just get one run. Let's just get one run. He goes, let's get 3. I go, let's just get one. Well, just start the momentum. And sure enough, we got a run. And then we got 3 runs. And then we end up winning the game. So, look, I think for where we are, what's different about this is not necessarily one guy just carrying us the whole time. I mean, there's guys hot, obviously, Polanco and Raleigh, and you guys were talking about Julio. He's starting to pick it up. Here's what's crazy about Julio. You guys are saying is, where would he be? Would you be okay with him being like Freeman?
Yeah.
Julio's WAR, and he's batting on. He's up to 224 or so. His WAR is 1.3. Yeah, I mean, for a guy who hadn't hit it yet, I mean, it just goes to show you he is a complete player. It's not always with the bat and the home runs, and he steals. He plays great, defense. He can hit for power. He can get hot. So there's and by the way, his WAR, he's 33rd in the league right now with WAR. Yeah, I mean that's a top player. I mean you split that up between the national and the American. I mean you're talking about top 16 player in your league there. And he's not hot yet, and we know it's going to come at some point. So. So I think it's awesome. Respect. I always hate when we have a day off. It's depressing, by the way. I got nothing to look forward to tonight. Just brutal.
We can relate.
Yes. But got Toronto coming in. And, I'm kind of hoping the tariff thing, got them spooked a little bit and they're not traveling, this weekend. So keep them back over there in Canada. We love you guys. We respect you. But you know what? From a rivalry standpoint with fans, Toronto got to be the number one for the Mariners because of the way they have always traveled. And they make noise. And they are, sorry, call it like I hear it, you're obnoxious. The Toronto Blue Jay fans are obnoxious when they come into our field. So big weekend because obviously got the Yankees in San Diego following them.
I feel like Moyer's trying to start a fight with the Canadians.
So let me tell you a funny story. I think it's a funny story. It was probably 5 or 6 years ago. I can't remember. We're in the hunt, and we've got to win that. It's a really important series, and no one showed. No Mariner fans show up. It is completely Toronto, and I'm mad. I mean, I'm kind of loud. I go, I can't believe this. There is a girl sitting like 2 seats down from me and her husband. And I don't know how she recognized me. She's from Canada, but she was a big Seahawks fan. And I'm tweeting out some stuff like, I can't believe the Mariner fans aren't here. Man, just listening to these obnoxious Toronto fans. And she tweets like next to me. She goes, hey, it's okay. We like you. We're not really being mean. I'm like, who's tweeting back to me? And she goes, look, two seats over to the left. And I'm like, how did she know? It was really odd. So I found a new liking for my Canadian Toronto Blue Jay fans there. But no, other than that, they're obnoxious.
Well, and I think that's the thing. Ultimately, they're super nice, and you can't really stay mad at them, right? So that's the frustrating part. So, hey. Paul, what do you like the most here? I was talking about how guys like Mastrobuoni and Tellez and Tavares, who they just picked up, how it's coming from different spots. I mean, Tavares gets here, he has a single, steals a base, RBI, he scored. I mean, yeah, they're just I don't know. There's getting it from places that you usually don't expect, or is it Cal, or is it the fact that this pitching it's not even kicked in yet? I mean, what's your favorite part about this 9-game winning streak here?
I think just what you said, kind of chemistry. It's a fun team to watch again. I've always liked Dylan Moore. I thought, he's a really good athlete. People kind of would say, oh, he's not a great player. I go, yeah, I get that, but he could be a really good all-around player. And so just to see him have that kind of success, I mean, he is another guy. His WAR's at 1 right now, batting right around 300. And it's J.P. Crawford. I mean, we love J.P. Crawford, but there's a point when they're not playing well, you go, yeah, maybe time to go. And we were almost having a little bit of that conversation about JP because tough year, started off not hot this year. And then he's just grinding back. And now he's just, he's that guy you just pull for because he's such a good guy. So there's just so many of those stories. I mean, our star, Julio, he's got a smile on his face all the time. He's just a good guy. I mean, Cal Raleigh, unbelievable leader. I mean, you go down the line. I mean, Polanco, what a great story. Rowdy, who's I'll get mad at him, 60% of the time. But boy, there was 10, 20% of the time where he comes in and he's made some big home runs, when we really needed it, when no one else was doing it. And so, you got your 80-20 rule, right, where your superstars are 80% are carrying the team. But those other guys, have really stepped up. And I think that's what we missed so much last year. The bottom part of the order, man, it just was so bad. We got nothing out of it.
Is there an obvious, a visual difference to this team, Paul, in your mind? We were talking about that earlier, and for me, I said it's the plate discipline. The strikeouts are way down. The walks are amongst the tops in all of Major League Baseball, and then that they're just more aggressive on the base paths in terms of taking that extra base or steals, what have you. But what stands out to you?
Yeah, I think, the steals are big just because that wasn't our game at all. I mean, there's times I'm like, Servais, put the game in motion, crying out loud. I mean, do something. And I think that is where Dan has come in and said, hey, there's times that, I saw, Rowdy tried to steal the other day or did steal. I'm like, okay, he's putting everything in motion. I think that's it. I think the hard one to put your finger on, though, is the walks are there. We had walks last year.
Yeah.
And so when you say, hey, we're disciplined, are we not chasing as much? Are we just barreling things up better? I mean, the timely hits have come into play. Obviously the power's there. I don't know. I mean, because you sit there and you think if you walk that much, you're probably going to strike out too, right? Because you're just looking. You're getting the two strikes, a lot in this league. So I don't know what it is. I just think we've played sports. There's some people don't believe in momentum, and I do. And I just think when you're a part of an organization where everybody wants to have that timely hit, to be that hero, it's so infectious. And I think that's what we're getting, because it's not like the numbers are huge. But I will tell you this. I mean, you look at our team, we got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 guys with a WAR of one or higher. I mean, last year we were struggling to have one guy have a WAR of 1. So, just everybody doing their part.
The momentum thing, you're talking about Big Ray Roberts.
I don't want to call him out because he has a tendency to hear things, and Big Ray's, is big.
I think it's funny. I like kind of poking him on that one. Yeah. But hey,
yeah, too.
Paul, just as a former athlete, I'm not sure how much you've heard from Bryce Miller, but he's in his head, and I don't know if you ever got that. I remember my first year as a starter, I was missing tackles and making mistakes, and it was like a 3-game deal. I ended up getting yanked out of the game, and then kind of recentered, and just everything kind of came back to me. But I don't know if you remember anything like that, and I was just wondering what you make of Bryce Miller, because when he says, I don't want to get in my head, and then he says it like 10 times, and he's like, I think he's in his head. So, just your thoughts on that, and anything like that ever happened to you?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, we all go through it. When I look at Bryce, and his velo looks down maybe just a scotch, maybe a mile per hour. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but I was watching the other day. I go, man, his velocity's down just a bit. He's not giving up a lot of hits. I mean, I look at his hits right now. I mean, he's given up 32 hits in 32 innings. That's, on par with, a lot of our pitchers. Man, it's just the walks. I mean, he's got 19 walks right now, and that's not his game. I mean, the one thing about Wu and certainly Kirby and Miller, they don't walk people. So what does that mean? He's just a scotch off. I don't see it there being an issue. And if he's going to be, the challenge is when you have Kirby and Logan out, I can't have him be our 5th pitcher anymore. He's got to be our legit number 3, and he's not. And so you're asking Evans and Hancock to try and step up there. You're asking a lot there. So we need Miller. And if we get that back, and obviously we get Kirby, which sounds like he's doing pretty well. He had a really good outing the other day, was throwing close to 99 as well. So we get that back, and then we're in good shape. But I think for Miller, it's just, hey, maybe not get too fine tuned. People don't hit him that much. So you know what? Don't get too much on the edges all the time, and just start working on that. But when he starts talking about it, it makes me nervous, because when someone says don't get in their head, it's in their head.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, quickly, before we let you go, I just want to ask you a quick thought on the Seahawks, and more specifically Jalen Milroe, a guy who, Dave and I were talking earlier, of all of their draft picks, he's the one that's generated the most conversation. I think he's got the most interest in terms of what he potentially could be, the parallels between him and Russell, both third-round picks in a year where they signed a free agent quarterback to be the starter and all that. But, we played some cuts from Daniel Jeremiah where he's saying, he was asked, does he think he can be a franchise quarterback? He's like, I don't think so. There's a lot of ground to cover, as he put it, in terms of, improving as a passer. How do you view Milroe? Is he a guy you think can be that guy? And would you like to see, another thing he sort of poo-pooed was, having packages out there. We're gonna put him out there in this package or that package. He says he's heard that 15 different times over his career, and it's never happened. So what do you think of those two things?
Well, it has happened, but I get his point. He's making a strong point. And it does with offensive coordinators. You go in, you got this incredible athlete, and Milroe is an incredible athlete. I mean, if you go and watch some tape on him from ground level, and sometimes when he's taken off and run, that is DBs will not want to hit him. He is so fast. I mean, he's sub 4.4. He's 220 plus pounds, and he looks thicker than that as well. I actually think what they're going to try and do with him is a little bit like Lamar Jackson. I don't want to compare those two, but you do when you get mobile quarterbacks. Lamar struggled early, but they had a nice play action passing game for them, got him out of the pocket, let him use his legs, and now he's developed into a very good passer. And I could see that with Milroe too, because I look at his arm, and I read about Brock Heward did a little piece on it, and I went and watched some of his film, and he's right. He's got a very compact, easy throw. I mean, it's right from his ear, shoulder level. It's not a complicated throwing motion, but you got to set him up. You got to set him up for success with what he does best, and that is going to be play action, getting him out of the pocket at time, being a weapon in the running game, and let him see if he can develop as a true passer. I think the difference, though, more than anything from the day when we said, Russell Wilson, and when we had Matt Flynn come in, Flynn had done nothing. He had one game. He had a really big game, and he got a nice free agent contract. We needed a veteran quarterback at that point. Look, Darnold's done it, and he did it pretty successful last year. But with that being said, man, with Jalen, I'm excited. We haven't had an athlete like that since I've been here. I mean, they don't grow on trees. And if you can develop him at all, he will be a weapon. Do I think there'll be some packages? Yeah. Well, let's see what that looks like. Offensive coordinators, that sounds like a good idea when the season starts. And then you get into game plan and you're going, I'm going with my number one guy. But I think what Dave, when you said, I go, 3rd down and 1, 3rd down and 2. It's not like he can't throw. He can throw the ball, but yeah, he's going to be a weapon. It'll be interesting to see if they really want to say, hey, we're going to give 10% of these packages to him.
Yeah. Paul, as always, great stuff. We appreciate you, my friend. Have a great rest of the week and weekend. We'll do it again next week.
I look forward to it. Have a great evening, guys.
Thanks,
there you
Paul.
go. There's Paul Moyer, a man of experience, Dave.
I understand that.
If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com.
The difference thing that I give him a hard time about, it's only every other time. He actually said difference today, and then he said difference.
Yeah, he had a couple of them in there.
So when I told him that, of course, he comes right back with, you say member instead of remember. Always has to have the last word.
I love it. Just one up, yeah. Love it. Hey, would you, here's a question for the texters as well. 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. We're all excited about what the Mariners are doing right now. We're excited about what the Seahawks may be doing coming up. If you had your choice, you had the power, you could pick Mariners win a World Series, Seahawks win a Super Bowl. Where are you going? It's an easy answer for me, but.
Well, it's easy for me, too.
You go Super Bowl.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seahawks.
I'd go Mariners.
That's my family down there, man.
Yeah.
Been with them since 1987. There's lots of people in that building. Look,
they've been 3 times and they've won 1.
Yeah.
The Mariners are the only team in baseball that have never been to a World Series. What would this city do with a World Series title?
You know what? The other thing is, I want these guys to have that because we've talked to everybody, and they do an amazing job.
These Mariners,
I'm
or
talking
Seahawks?
about the Mariners. What a great group of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember the interview we had with Demo last year? The other day when we talked to Ben Williamson, Cal is a friend of the show, and
Andres
Logan.
Munoz is the nicest person in the world.
Andres Munoz.
He's just a sweetheart of a guy.
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, I mean, I think I want those guys to have that more than I do, but I got to go with the Super Bowl and the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So,
where would you go, Lefko? Would you go World Series or Super Bowl?
I'd go World Series just because it hasn't happened. It would be a week plus of chaos and excitement.
Yeah.
Just to get there would be a huge celebration. Every game that you would win during that series would be massive party. And the Super Bowl is great. It's fantastic. It's a one-off, so I'll take one of those. But World Series by far.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably a tougher question prior to the Seahawks victory of the Super Bowl, right? You got to win, and then you went back the next year. So
and it was the worst experience ever.
It was terrible. It was a terrible ending. You thought you were on the verge of 2 in a row. And Lefko asked the question, which team has a better chance of sustaining multiple championship appearances over the next decade? Well, I think football's just set up for that. Much easier than it's easier to repeat as a Super Bowl champ than it is a World Series champ. Because of what you just talked about. 7 games. It's not one and done. It's not, hey, this team just got hot and it's one and done through the playoffs. You're playing multiple series of 7 games, and to me, it's a different run in baseball. And the Chiefs just repeated recently, right? Before last year, they were back-to-back champs.
Yeah,
and they had won. We've seen the Patriots. You've seen it done more often.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't look at it that way because I feel like the Mariners. Look, the stats bear it out. But it just seems like you get the same group of guys back. I mean, there's less turnover, would you say, year to year on your baseball roster?
Yeah, typically because they're all guaranteed contracts. So if you've got somebody who's making a lot of money who's not producing, they're going to be there unless you can find a trade partner. It's much easier in the NFL as we've seen. Well, we're going to release them, we're going to restructure, or we're going to whatever. They've got a lot of different avenues to work around. But the last repeat champion, and it was 3 in a row, were the Yankees. 2000, they go 98, 99, 2000. So it's been 25 years since you've had a back-to-back champ, I think. The Giants had 2 out of 3 years. Actually, Giants won in 2010, 2012, and then 14.
Well, it's a good question. I wonder what our texters, 866-979-3776, would say about it.
Yeah, which would you rather have? You get a choice. You've got the power. You say Mariners are World Series champs or Seahawks are the Super Bowl champs. Which are you going with? And in which league is it easier to sustain? Is more likely to win multiple championships over, or at least make appearances in the World Series or Super Bowl over the next decade?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I just automatically think it's harder to keep the same guys together in the NFL, mainly because of injuries, I guess, health concerns. And, I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then the draft more directly affects the NFL teams than it does.
Way more immediate, obviously.
Yeah, so.
Here's an interesting texter recommendation. Mariners World Series or the Sonics come back.
Oh, now you're really muddying the water here.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Ooh, that's much harder because this one is easy for me. I'm going Mariners all day.
Yeah.
So the franchise coming back and just having the team here. But we've had the franchise. We've been without it. I think everybody at this point is used to being without it.
Right.
I I don't know. That's a good one. That's a tough one. I have to think about that.
All right. Well, Mariners will win it this year, and then let's talk about it next year.
Yeah, that's right. Let's let the Mariners at least get to a World Series. Then we'll ask that question. All right. We'll check in on some of the other Mariners and Seahawks conversations happening around the station. Best of the rest coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do.
Incredible comeback again from this group.
At bat by at bat, they find a way.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays, with Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here from my friends at Harley Exteriors. My new friends. They're a local company serving all of Western Washington for the past 23 years. And I'm really excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my kind of people. I had Ray, Chris, and Nick out to my house just to see what they could do for us. You see, we've been in the same house for 24 years, and virtually every window in our home has a broken seal. So Harley Exteriors has an exclusive, high-quality Euro vinyl Olympic Series window, and it's manufactured right here in Washington. And these windows are designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. And it's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like zero payments and zero interest, up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And right now, through the month of May, buy 3 windows and get 1 for free. So Harley Exteriors, they're big fans of the station. They're really excited to work with our listeners, and I'm proud to be working with Ray, Chris, and Nick at Harley Exteriors. It's a team you can get behind. So get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more. They're right here in the Puget Sound. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or you can go to harleyexteriors.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Mike Salk here, and luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. And this summer, you can experience the breathtaking Cascade views, the world-class dining and entertainment, and elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Plus, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel's award-winning outdoor summer concert series is back with amazing artists like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, and POD. This summer, overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley, snocasino.com for tickets. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
University Reprographics reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Please make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or ride share, and let's bring our sons and daughters home safely. Best wishes to the class of 2025 from the entire team at University Reprographics. Family owned since 1973. Online at universityrepro.com.
We know you love listening to us, but there are great discussions happening all over our station.
I need more Jake Bobo. I need more of them.
Because Jake Bobo is objectively fun to say.
Yeah, I'm just not good at that.
Stinks. Tone it down.
It's time for the best of the rest.
How dare you?
What are you laughing at, Dave?
I like Brock. I was like, yeah, I can just hear the whole conversation.
Hear him just
a little bit.
Just trying to get Salk agitated.
Yes.
Sounded like it worked because he was going, yeah. So he was getting annoyed.
And then he followed it up with an evil laugh.
His maniacal laugh. I don't know what the hell that was. All right, it is time for Best of the Rest. We take a listen to some of the conversations happening on the other shows and respond accordingly. And we'll start with Brock and Salk. This was yesterday, and they were talking about Cal Raleigh. I knew this would be right in your wheelhouse, Dave.
Asking I like Cal.
Yeah.
I'm not the Lone Ranger, though. Everybody loves Cal.
Well, they were asking, is Cal Raleigh the most popular athlete in Seattle, and whether the national perception of him is different?
Where I think Cal takes it hands down, and it is a little...
Whoa. Easy.
No, maybe not. Okay, maybe there's others.
Hands down.
All right, what other...
I mean, nationally, Julio Rodriguez.
I was about to get into that.
Okay, yes. I mean, I think if you surveyed 100 baseball fans across the country and said, who's the star on the Seattle Mariners, I think 90 of them across the country would say, oh, Julio Rodriguez is your star.
Absolutely. If they even knew who the Mariners were, which would be impressive. I think a lot of them might say Felix Hernandez or Ichiro. Or Ken Griffey Jr. But no, and that's why I'm not asking people around the nation. We're just talking about people here in Seattle. Logan is beloved, I would say, in his own way, but I don't know whether it's quite to the Cal level. So, yeah, it's a Julio Cal conversation. And, certainly if you just read our text line, the amount of polarization on Julio versus the amount of straight love and respect for Cal is pretty clear, right? It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. It's interesting that the biggest star in town has got the personality of Ryan Divish, or at least the voice of Ryan Divish. Right?
Certainly has the voice.
That's not necessarily the personality that usually has the most charisma and the most flair of just kind of, hey, man, Haver, Montana. Hey, I'm a catcher. Hey, I'm a grinder.
Comparing him to Divish, that's not cool.
That's not fair.
But he's right in his demeanor. He's just very... Divish is a cranky dude, self-admitted. He's
lovable.
Cranky old man, and we love it.
Yeah.
Cal's not cranky. He's just sort of devoid of excitement.
Yeah.
He just doesn't go high or low. He's just kind of like, everything's like, yeah, that's cool. They can do that, whatever,
Well, and I think, don't people love him because he's awesome? Okay, number one.
Well, let's just break it down to the brass tacks here. Don't people love him because he's awesome?
I'm talking about the way he's playing right now, children. The way he's playing right now is awesome. But the other thing is he's a regular guy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves him for that. And, for the reasons that you've talked about, where you talk to him after he hits the game-winning home run, they go to the playoffs, and it's pretty cool. Yeah. He's just very, very chill guy, and just like the kind of guy that you would want as your neighbor, you know, and just unassuming. And I think people love that. They love that here. So that's why, and I'm gonna contrast him with Richard Sherman, and I think everybody loved him as well because he was very brash and very confident. But I think that there was that sort of struck a chord with certain people in the Northwest that we're kind of humble here, and we don't like people that are loud. And all of a sudden it was like, hey, no, we want some respect here. And Sherm was kind of one of those guys that demanded your respect.
Well, yeah, they had it in Gary Payton. Gary Payton talked smack to every player he ever played against, and he backed it up. And he was loud and brash, and he was like the basketball version of Sherman. Defense, he'd get in their head, and he would talk smack, and people loved it, and they lived through him. You sort of live vicariously through those guys, like they're kind of tough guys talking smack, and they're backing it up.
Yeah,
and it is a rarity. You don't see it that often. It's not part of the Seattle culture, if you will. The every man is Cal, the sort of missing element that people kind of like in a personality, if it's on their team, is that brash. Yeah. I'm going to tell you what I think of you. I'm going to tell you how great I am, and I'm going to back it all up.
Yeah, we could do the whole segment on Cal, but
yeah, you could. Yeah, I would just listen.
No, I think the other thing too is that you've seen that he can snap. Remember the minor league umpire that he went after, and then he did with that same thing with Matt Brash. So he has a limit, but the other thing is he does so much more than just up at the plate. It's like he's kind of the caretaker for the rotation, and the rotation is awesome. So, or at least they're headed that way once they get Kirby and Logan back. And Bryce Miller gets out of his head. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's just, I think, and he's all banged up, and he's tough, and he doesn't complain about it. And yeah, Cal Raleigh, easy to like.
All right, moving on. Stacy and Curtis. Curtis was in for bump. They were talking about now I can't remember where this came from. I don't know if you know, Lefko, but I think it was in the note I sent you. Who said that the Seahawks had the 10th worst quarterback room in the NFL?
CBS Sports.
CBS Sports. 10th worst quarterback room in the NFL, and that's what they were talking about.
CBS Sports ranked the worst quarterback rooms in the league. They do have them as the 10th worst quarterback room in the NFL. Curious as to what you guys think. They questioned whether the Vikings and why they felt comfortable letting him walk after having just J.J. McCarthy there. So saying, basically the first thing they questioned is if Sam was so clearly great and a franchise guy, why'd they even let him walk? They looked at backup quarterback Drew Lock, were mostly unimpressed by Drew. And then obviously they know that Milroe's there, but they said that he was a raw project, the ultimate boomer bust in college.
I don't think the Seahawks backup quarterback situation is as bad as this article is painting it to be. I think Drew Lock is one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL, a guy who he's going to keep the ship afloat when he is in the game. He is not somebody that is going to just absolutely take your chances. And then Jalen Milroe offers quite a bit of upside at being a rookie and having the physical traits that he does. I think this all boils down to how we feel about Sam Darnold as a starting quarterback in 2025. There are a couple ways to look at his 2024 season. A lot of people just boil it down, as this article does, to his final 2 games of the year. I also kind of look at the totality of Darnold's season, Stacey, and you look at the 4 losses that he had, they were all to the Rams and Lions.
I think that shaping that story is that he lost not in this really admirable fight where you just get
like
outdueled.
The old Sam Darnold.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I think Siraj nailed it there as far as, first of all, Drew Lock is disrespected for whatever reason. The Seahawks like him.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's for sure. But, I thought Curtis nailed it there. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, and I think it's a fair question if it's, I don't know who at CBS wrote it, but asking, well, if Sam Darnold is the guy, why would the Vikings let him go? He obviously could have been retained at a reasonable price, and they don't have any idea what J.J. McCarthy's going to be.
I can't
You're
wait.
hoping.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy, that is going to be so interesting because, I talk to people around the NFL, they're like, oh, there's no way Minnesota is going to, get rid of him or trade him and keep Darnold. And I was like, really? Like, why is it so, like, what have you seen? And so I don't know. I mean, quarterback coaches and scouts and GMs love J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, and maybe that'll turn out to be accurate, and we'll see why they felt comfortable letting Darnold go. But I do think that's a fair question. If you're talking about a team that's got a backup quarterback currently that's a rookie that's never played a snap, and you've got this guy that just gave you the season he gave you, why would you let him go? If he obviously wasn't getting 40 million a year, wasn't getting 50 or above, so he wasn't in that echelon. So I don't know. I think it's a fair question, but I don't know that. And we'd have to go through every quarterback room and say, all right, who's the star? Who are the backups now? Who's the third string? I don't know all of those off the top of my head, but it feels like that's a bit of an overstatement saying it's the 10th worst in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's not how I view it, but I do understand the question. I do get it, though.
Well, they're clearly predicting a faceplant by Sam Darnold. So, to get 10th worst.
Yeah. All right. Coming up, we're going to highlight one position group each week leading into minicamp, which starts next month, and we're starting with the biggest unknown on the team. That is coming up next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
You can hit and how many home runs you can prevent. And over the last calendar month, since they bottomed out at 3-7, Seattle Mariners hitters have hit the most home runs in all of Major League Baseball. Seattle Mariners starters have allowed the second fewest.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, crown disappearing. Hair loss for me was like identity theft. The solution? The simple one-day treatment that worked for me from Advanced Hair. And I'm just one of tens of thousands. Advanced Hair was recently crowned the winner of the 425 Business of the Year again. Advanced Hair begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. We've all seen the pills and lotions, those monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but if you're like me, you want more. You wanted your own natural hair in specific areas permanently. From Advanced Hair's groundbreaking technology to world-class Dr. Perungo, it's not maybe your hair will grow, it's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. For your free consultation, $250 off, 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Testing.
We're live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken filet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Hope springs eternal during the start of the season, but unfortunately, so do spring allergies. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Rhine Air is a simple, non-invasive procedure that significantly reduces your postnasal drip and stuffiness. We're proud this year the Stern Sinus Center was just named a nationwide center of excellence. We're also excited to welcome another allergy surgeon and ear surgeon to our practice. Schedule your appointment in Auburn or Federal Way or go to sternsinus.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Before we know it, it's going to be training camp. It's going to be preseason football, and then the regular season will start. So all these questions will have been answered. But right now, we're taking a look at the offensive line as we go position group by position group. And when you look at it right now, Dave, how many spots are there to be had? Like, I think we feel like left tackle is done. Charles Cross is your left tackle. Outside of that, who are you writing in pen? I think Abe Lucas is only a question because of durability, availability, not talent. So I kind of put that as sort of up for grabs just because I don't know what his physical status is going to be.
Well, I'm saying I think there's three. You got Cross, and then you got your left guard, Gray Zabel.
Okay.
And then, I'm going to go ahead.
So he's a for sure starter, you think?
I think so. I do. And you don't draft him that high, and also he just is very advanced. I mean, you just look at the way he moves around. He just it's hard to explain. That's why I compared him to Bruce Matthews, because Bruce Matthews was so comfortable all the time. Like, it's really hard to get low, right?
Yeah.
And he would get really low, and it looked like it was just like sitting down in a chair for him.
Why is it hard to get low? Why?
Just because your
eyes, about balance, or
you always want to pop up and look. That's part of it, and then
so it's more discipline than physical. It's
absolutely. So and he's just balanced. Like I said that about who's the UW offensive lineman Fatanu that went to Pittsburgh. He got drafted, but I used to say about him that like his feet operate differently than his upper body.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like two things happening at once, and that's kind of what I see from him. And so I think he absolutely is going to be your starting left guard. And then I'm going to go ahead and hope that Abraham Lucas is your right tackle, because I love him when he's healthy. Really good. I mean, more than Cross. Just some of the things that he's done. And I mean, if you see him run down the field and push a pile, and it's like one or two times, like he's going to do that every time. That's just who he is. So I love that about him. And he has a really good recovery if he gets beat. So, and I'm really hoping that he stays healthy, because if you have 3 of the 5, that's pretty good. I mean, I think most people that have good offensive lines are, some have all 5.
Right.
You look at the Eagles and the Bills and
Chiefs before the Super Bowl.
Before the Super Bowl.
Just chalk it up to a bad night. It's good O-line, just had a bad game.
Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Lions, certainly.
Yeah, so, that's the good news. And then the other thing, I hear really good things about Michael Jarrell, because he was a Division II guy, and we said project. Well, he got thrown in there and got thrown in the fire a little bit. I know in the Atlanta game, I'm trying to remember when else he played, but they really like him. I mean, he's got some really good upside, but that's just in case Abe Lucas. And look, if Abe Lucas is not available, Michael Jarrell's not going to be one of those that you go, okay, that's solid. I mean, he has a ton to prove, but
so you're looking at center and right guard as being up for grabs.
And that kind of bothers me, because center, we just haven't had a good center here. Haven't had one since
Justin Britt. Before that, Max Unger.
Yeah. So I think it's an important position, but we'll see what we get out of that. That Jalen Sundell kid looks pretty good. He's a free agent from last year from North Dakota State. So, but I mean, I felt pretty confident in 3 of the spots.
Yeah. Well, we talked to John Schneider all year long, and certainly he probably got tired of hearing questions about or concerns about the O-line and all of that. And then post-draft, he was talking about it, and he was talking about just their overall feeling about the O-line as it sits right now.
We like it. We like it a lot. It's going to be highly, highly competitive. We had a group of 4 guys. Thank God, God willing, Gray was at the top of it, and it fell that way. But when we came out of the combine, we felt fairly confident that we'd be able to get one of those 4 guys, and things just fell that way.
So he's happy with what they did. Now, Daniel Jeremiah, we played some cuts earlier. He was asked if the Seahawks did enough, in his opinion, to improve the O-line in the draft.
I mean, if you're going to nitpick, I would have loved to have had one more in that at least middle tier. And they went shopping in the nice store than the bargain store. Like they could have maybe got something at Marshall's.
So they're shopping at Nordstrom's, and then they went to Dollar Tree, and they didn't go anywhere in the middle?
That's where I go.
Maybe at Costco?
I go to get my socks there sometimes.
At Marshall's?
Yeah. But who do you want it to be? I mean, if you
I'd like Bradford. Bradford would be, if I could just choose a guy to just find it and be a butt kicker, Bradford, because I think physically he's the most set up to be that guy.
It's amazing what he does every once in a while. I remember last year coming in here and showing you guys, like, look at this. Can you believe this? Like, he's barely touching him, but then you go to the next play and it's like, oh, what's he doing?
Yeah, and I don't know why that is, what the disconnect is with him, but he just looks, in terms of having the toolbox with all of the tools, he's got that.
Yeah.
Whether he can ever apply it throughout an entire game, week in, week out, I have no idea. But just that would be my pick, to find a guy who just the button got pushed and he became that player. It would be him. And then center, I don't know. I mean, I would certainly love it if it was Olu. I just don't know if it is, and I don't know if he's a liability or if he's still growing. He's going to find it. He's going to be that guy. I don't know how they truly feel about him, or if they feel like, no, he's going to be fine, or no, we need to address that spot.
I like Jalen Sundell. Haven't seen him that much, but just from what I hear about how he's smart. And I think would be kind of cool to have two North Dakota State guys starting right next to each other. That's definitely a promotion for that football program there. But I want it to be Bradford also. I just, physically, he just has everything, and all he needs to do is get the mental side of it, concentrate for a long period of time. But, that's one of the reasons why, and coaches don't usually say that. A lot of times when they get cut, they're like, and I don't want to put this like, not dumb, but like he couldn't remember the playbook. He couldn't concentrate throughout the entire game. I mean, things like that are on the mental side. Mm-hmm. That's typically, no coach is going to come out and say, yeah, we cut him because he's dumb. But, that's part of it. Remember Charlie Furbush said that the other day.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys are just straight up dumb.
And sometimes that's helpful. Yeah. Keeps them from getting in their own way.
That's right.
All right, we'll get a guy who knows a thing or two about the O-line to weigh in on all of this. Mark Schlereth. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do.
Incredible comeback again from this group.
At-bat by at-bat, they find a way.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays. With Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Mike Salk here, and luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. And this summer, you can experience the breathtaking Cascade views, the world-class dining and entertainment, and elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Plus, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel's award-winning outdoor summer concert series is back with amazing artists like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, and POD. This summer, overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley, snocasino.com for tickets. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Hey friends, it's Stacy with a little bit of inside info. I know there are a lot of local business owners listening right now. This message is for you. Wayscar Ford is running great pricing on all of their commercial vehicles, trucks, Super Duties, Isuzu FTRs, box trucks. The bigger, the better, and they have a ton of them. New and used models and a ton of 2025 models. I'm on their website right now. Here's one, $11,000 off. Another for $19,000 off. Wayscar Ford just expanded their heavy truck shop, and there are a ton of opportunities. They're looking for mechanics if anyone listening has heavy truck experience. Join a wonderful company at a dealership that's been in Auburn for 103 years. Take advantage of the amazing inventory and deals they have right now. Commercial sales and service for both Ford and Isuzu. A great option for people, a great option for families, and now business owners. I'm a proud customer. I know you will be too. Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. WayscarFord.com. That's WayscarFord.com.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Headed to the ballpark? Skip the traffic jams, parking fees, and the stress of driving. Make riding transit part of your game day ritual. Roll in with your crew, talk stats, and meet fans. No traffic, no stress. Community Transit riders enjoy seamless connections to light rail and ferries to get to Seattle and beyond. And youth 18 and under ride the bus for free. All in for the win. Plan your trip with Community Transit at ctgo.org/homerun.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, your red-hot Seattle Mariners have the day off today before they begin their next series at T-Mobile Park starting tomorrow. They welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town as the Mariners look to find a way to win their 10th consecutive series. Meanwhile, baseball going on today. Tigers out in front of the Rockies 6-1. This one in the bottom of the third. It's game 2 of a doubleheader. Make up from May 6th. They took them out in game 1. Other finals from the day, Twins beat the Orioles 5-2. It was the Rangers being shut out by the Red Sox 5-0. Royals hammer the White Sox 10-0. And in game 1 of that doubleheader, Tigers beat the Rockies 10-2 to hand them their 30th loss of the season to this point. They are 6-30. Meanwhile, in the NFL, Texans and rookie wide receiver Jaden Higgins have agreed to a fully guaranteed 4-year, $11,700,000 contract, making him the first second-round pick in NFL history to have a fully guaranteed contract.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Blue 80, blue 80, set up. And I snap the ball, and there's just this horrific splash.
It's time to join the stink tank.
The analytics people that I hate your guts. They don't play football, they play quarterback. I'd be the easiest guy in the world to kidnap.
Mark Schlereth. You stinks! Every Tuesday with Wyman and Bob.
That line still cracks me up. The analytics people, I hate your guts.
He made it so personal.
It just cracks me up. We love talking to this guy throughout the NFL season, and we got him on a special occasion here. We were able to convince him to join us.
Oh, and we get to see his smiling, happy, handsome face.
There he is.
Oh,
there he is.
That's not the one I
remember. For those of you watching on the stream, and if you're listening as well, joining us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, you know him, you love him. Mark Schlereth is here with us. How are you, man?
I am doing great. How are you guys, man? Always good to be with you.
It's great to see you. It's great to talk to you. It's football never stops. There's never really a down time in football. We're spending a lot of time talking about the Seahawks, even with a red hot Mariner team here.
Yeah, football is well, you guys know. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. 24/7. So yeah, I'm totally locked in. Even though I've been watching. Let me just tell you something really quick. Being on the East Coast, living in New York, and trying to follow NBA basketball sucks. Like I get zero. I mean, I get absolutely no sleep. I'm up until 11:30, midnight, whatever, and then I'm up at 4. And I mean, one, am I like an NBA guy? No. As I'm watching LeBron flop all over the place, and a guy tweets something, he's out for, I mean, for crying out loud, Porzingis, who knows what's going on with that
I think
guy?
he's got
Hopefully
an
he's okay.
illness. I think he's got an
Yeah,
illness.
yeah. Rub some dirt on it. Let's roll. Like it's NBA playoff time. Like, I mean, like your tummy's upset. Anyhow, long story short, I'm cranky. I'm up way too late. I got to talk about the NBA a bunch on television, and I know just enough to be dangerous. So, yeah, I like I said, I'm always happy to talk NFL with you guys.
Well, yeah, we're here and specifically talk about offensive guard. And by the way, it looks like you're growing in the gray Zabel mustache there, or you got the goatee going.
Dude, the goatee is strong, but it's not as strong as Zabel's mustache. I would have drafted him in the first round based on his mustache alone, without ever actually looking at any film. I would have just seen that stash and go, "That's my kind of guy. Let's take him. Let's take him with the first round."
And then there's another guy, Robbie Oots, that's got a strong mustache, and he's got the Kentucky waterfall going, and it's
all right.
Good fashion.
We've already won the draft. The Seahawks have won the draft based on mustaches alone.
What'd you think of Gray Zabel?
Listen, I like the kid. It's interesting. You go back and watch, and obviously people talk about small school and not elite level competition and all that garbage. And I came from a small school without elite level competition. The kid just can play, and he's really good, not only on the line of scrimmage, but second level stuff, really good keeping his feet moving, all that kind of stuff. And then you go back, and one of the things I did, because I knew I was coming on the show and we're going to talk, I went back and looked at all the Senior Bowl practice stuff.
Yeah.
And so I want to see what he did Senior Bowl wise. And he moved from guard to center to guard in the Senior Bowl and absolutely dispensed justice. I mean, I thought he was great. He was in front of guys. He locked guys up on the line of scrimmage. There was no backing down. There was no intimidation. There was none of that, small school guy. He came in there and gave him a mouthful on every rep. So that stuff bodes well. And the fact that he played multiple positions, and he was flipping up and down the line of scrimmage, and guys were like, I want that guy, because he was having such a good Senior Bowl. And he was whooping that ass, So there's a guy that can come in and play right away and play really well, I think.
It's Dave and I were talking about this after the draft, and with all due respect to guards, Mark, of course, the idea that your player, your overall number one selection for your team, number 18 overall, is a guard, and there's that level of excitement about a guard, tells you how bad things were with the O-line. Because, I mean, Dave talks about how his coaches back in the day would be like, I could go get any bum off the highway to play guard, get me a tackle.
That was your coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was my coach.
So it's not a position that generates a lot of enthusiasm or excitement. They're necessary, obviously, and crucial, as we've come to learn. But it just speaks to where this line is or was. We'll see where it is under Kubiak. But just how much of a difference it makes in the opinions and in the hearts of fans. You drafted a guard. You did what we thought you should do, because the Seahawks are generally the team that would take the left turn. When you think they need a guard, they'll go draft a linebacker.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's interesting about that, you look at the last few off seasons with Trace Smith and and the guys, Robert Hunt that left Miami and signed $100 million deal to the Carolina Panthers. Like, guards have been getting paid, and I mean paid handsomely. Yeah. And I think part of the whole concept is, one, a lot of the NFL is the quick passing game. It's really morphed in from the college game, right? So it's all this quick 3-step out of gun. You got to have a strong pocket. You got to have a pocket that doesn't get pushed in the lap of the quarterback. And the guy's got to be able to step up, get away from those edge rushers who are the best, and find avenues to throw the ball and to manipulate the pocket inside. And if you don't have guys that can stand up and just hold back that pass rush and not get that pocket collapse, well, then you're in deep trouble. And so I think you've seen, you've seen the value based on free agency of how the NFL actually feels about guards and centers here in recent years. So, like, that's one of those situations where I think, you always talk about some of the trends and some of the things that happen in the NFL. I think that's one of the trends that I've noticed the last couple of years is like, we have got to have strength in the pocket. And if you don't, your quarterback is never comfortable. You can look at the Super Bowl. Look what happened to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. I mean, they got shoved around in the pocket, and Mahomes had no escape lanes, no escape ability, and obviously they got drubbed in that game.
Hey, Mark, we were just talking about, I'm kind of the thinking that if you have like three, if you have, because we were talking about Abraham Lucas, your right tackle, Charles Cross, your left tackle, you get Gray Zabel, put him in right away, of course. Like at pick number 18, he's starting, right? Day one. Yeah. So, how much can you make up for that, for the other two guys? If you have, what's like the minimum number of really good, solid players, starters that you need to have on your O-line?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one, you have to understand that most guys or most teams are constructed with edge presence, right? So they've got an edge that can really play, and then ultimately, if you flip it on the defensive side, the guys who can't really rush the passer, the guys who are just space eaters and really, try to stop the run, those guys are a lot of your defensive tackles. There's very few defensive tackles that are real threats when it comes to pass rush, right? So I think that ultimately, if you've got a couple of guys that you're really confident in, a couple of guys that you can leave one-on-one in critical situations, and then you can get help to the other guys, that puts you in a pretty good situation. So, yeah, you've got three guys that you feel like you're going to be solid, are way above average, and you've got a couple of guys that are okay or serviceable. You can do things. You can do things exceptionally well. And then if you've got a coach that really understands what the issues are, what the problems are, you can protect an offensive line by the way you call plays as well. So all those things. All those things are important. And I know Clint Kubiak certainly understands that, certainly has been coached that way, growing up, and, his father and guys that you and I played with, Dave. So they know that they understand the importance of that, and the importance of kind of helping that group out with the way you call plays. So yeah, I think that all those things are really true.
Coming out of this draft, Mark, the player that's generated the most conversation has been Jalen Milroe. I think there's just a curiosity about, hey, could he be the next Russell? He's a third-round quarterback, just like Russell was in a year that they signed a free agent. Russell's year, it was Matt Flynn that they signed. He wins the starting job instead. This year they signed Sam Darnold. They draft Milroe in the third round. Now, as Dave pointed out, Russell was a much more accomplished passer at that point than Milroe is. Mm-hmm. When you see Milroe, and I don't know how much you've had a chance to watch him at the college level, but is he a guy you look at and say, yeah, he could definitely be something? He could be a franchise quarterback? Or is he somebody you look at and go, yeah, he's an athlete, but I'm not seeing it?
Yeah, at this point, I would think he's an athlete that obviously, you can get better at anything, right? You can grow into that role. But part of growing into that role is an offensive coordinator that's willing to put you in that role, that's willing to alter his offense to do the things that you do well. Milroe is an unbelievable athlete, as you guys know. I mean, that dude can run. That dude can threaten the edge. So if you're going to have that guy play for you, you've got to adjust accordingly the way you want to run your offense. So you're going to have to, have the quarterback run game is going to have to be a part of it, where you're going to design QB runs. You're also going to have the zone read stuff, where you're flagging that defensive end. And if he pinches down, the quarterback's keeping it. If he plays, the surf technique and stays out on the edge, then you hand it off on the dive, like all those things. Then the RPO game, where you're reading that, that second level defender, be it a linebacker or be it a safety. And if you can get that guy to suck up and bite, you throw the glance route behind him. If he doesn't, you hand the ball off. So all these little aspects, you're going to have to major in that stuff, which would be, a big change of what Clint Kubiak has done throughout his career. And everybody does a little bit of that stuff, but you really have to start to major in that stuff. And it's kind of like the same thing the Jets are going to go through with Justin Fields, or Chicago went through with Justin Fields, and he's gotten better and better and better. But like the first time I ever did a game of Justin Fields, watching the film was like my golf game. Like there were times where I was watching Justin Fields as a young player going, "Are you sure you're right-handed?" It was that bad. But then all of a sudden it was like my golf game where I'd shank 14 drives and all of a sudden I'd stand up there and pipe one 325 right down the middle. And you're like, "Oh my God, if I could just do that every time." And you would see those throws from Justin Fields that would just wow you, like, whoa, that was upper echelon. That was like elite level throw. And so, you got to mesh that together with his run stuff because he's such a threat doing that. And that's kind of how I see Milroe. You're going to have to bring him along that way, kind of like they brought Lamar along in Baltimore. And, it was funny because I did Joe Flacco's first game back when he was eligible to play again, and they decided to go with Lamar, when Lamar had come in and played. And everybody was asking Joe Flacco, like, have you helped the young kid? Like, have you talked to the young kid? Have you helped him? And Joe was like, what am I going to tell him? Like, what? Like, I can't do anything that guy does. Our offense is not it's nothing I know. I don't know read zone game. I'm a drop back guy. Like, how's that going to help him? And so, they decided to go in that direction. And every year they just put a little bit more, changed it up. And obviously we see what he has developed into.
Hey, Mark, we're going to hear from Bruce Feldman later on, and he was talking about Nick Emenwari being kind of I know you got a chance to look at him. I'm kind of hesitant to compare him to Cam Chancellor just because I feel like that's a big load to put on him, But what'd you see?
That's like, okay, so you said that, and I was watching him today, and I'm like, gosh, he's long, he's lean, like he runs, he goes. And I said to myself, kind of reminds me of Cam Chancellor. And then I was like, I can't say that on there. Like, I mean, I'm going to look like an idiot. Like, you want to talk about pressure, right?
Yeah.
Because Cam was such a superstar. He's such a great player and so much fun to watch. But he did have that look, that lengthy, just kind of his gait, like everything just kind of reminded me of Cam. So, I'm not trying to say he's going to be that kind of player, but boy, if he's half a Cam Chancellor, man, you stole one in the third round?
Second, I think he was a pick number 35. They traded up to get him, and actually they were talking about taking him in the first round. But I mean I think his ball skills.
The tight end is the guy you took in the third round. That's right.
Yeah, I mean that guy's also ridiculous, like 6'5", 250, and runs like a 4.4 40 or something like that. So yeah, but 40. Nobody ever ran a 40. Nobody got timed on the field. You don't get a first down for a 40. Nothing like that.
No. You know who runs a real fast 40?
Who?
The tight end you guys got right now. What's his name that came from Denver?
Oh, Noah Fant.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him to break his first tackle. Let me know if he ever breaks a tackle, guys, please let me know. Like, it should be like one of those on the, your phone gets the ESPN alert. Breaking news. Noah Fant broke a tackle.
We'll do it.
We'll
do it.
Yeah.
I'm still laughing about, are you sure you're right-handed?
That's why we have you on, Paul.
Yeah, right.
Well, you love us because we laugh at all your jokes. No matter how many times we've heard it.
He's a funny guy. Hey, what just the draft overall? What was your takeaway? What stood out to you? I know Shedeur Sanders was the big story, obviously, and him falling to the 5th round. I don't know what your expectations were of him going in, but what stood out to you beyond that?
Well, I mean, nothing really. That was the talk. I mean, absolutely zero buzz for Cam Ward. And when I went and looked at film on Cam Ward, I thought Cam was really good. Obviously, NIL he played for like the first school he went to was like some like Blind Sisters of the Immaculate Reception or something. And I'm like, well, I never even heard of this school. And then he went to Washington State because he couldn't get into Idaho. So then I thought maybe he's not that smart. And then ultimately he ends up, for a year in Miami. But I like big time arm talent, but more importantly to me, really good at changing trajectory of the ball, knowing when to take some off. Like I thought he was really impressive and really good, not straight away 40 speed, but really good movement skills and throwing on the run. So I really liked him. The Shador thing just goes to show you, Shador is very accurate. I helped up at CU this last spring. And so he's incredibly accurate. Like he holds the ball too long, but part of the reason he's holding the ball too long is probably I'm waiting for Travis Hunter to get open because Travis Hunter is that much of a freak show, and he is. He's truly an unbelievable kid. But it just goes to show you that the NFL, if you don't have elite level kind of next generation skills, like athletic skills, you damn well better ace all the interviews and all the meetings. And when you come into a meeting and act like you're just disinterested, or they put a mistake purposely in the playbook for you. So like think about how easy it would be to throw in, like label something trips right and you draw up a trips left formation. And the quarterback like I would catch it, right? Like anybody who knows football would catch it. And if you don't mention it or you don't say anything about it, then that's on you. And those are the things that happened. And obviously, if you don't have generational talent, guess what? You're not getting drafted in the first round. So hopefully, it's a valuable learning lesson for the kid. He's going to get an opportunity in Cleveland. But the other thing is, like Travis Hunter is a legit kid, and I keep thinking to myself, they say, hey, one side of the ball or the other side of the ball. I keep thinking, and I know people have said he's, like top corner, one of the top corners in the draft, but I think that kid is an elite talent, ball skills wise, like at the wide receiver position. And I think that's where he ends up starting and maybe playing some, defensive back, some nickel back or something of that nature. I could be completely wrong. They could go the exact opposite way, but I think he's just a difference maker at the receiver position.
Mark, so you said you helped out at Colorado, right? So
yeah.
You have some relationship with Dion. Did you know him from when you were in the league? And just kind of tell us how, I mean, there were people that were saying, nobody wants to draft his kid because then he's going to come along with him and, be calling in with suggestions and things like that. So
right.
Tell us that side of the story.
No, like Dion, Dion is like, my experience with Dion, it goes back to when we were playing in the league and we played in the Pro Bowl together, and like so I've known Dion for a long time, and my experience with Dion, a lot of people he rubs the wrong way, and I get it. It's one of those things. Don't let what does he say all the time? Like don't let my confidence offend your insecurities. Like that's Dion, but ultimately the relational part of CU, the relational part of Dion with those kids is special. And it's all those kids, and he holds them accountable and all those things. And yeah, there's a lot of flamboyant, nature to the program and all that kind of stuff. But he's done a really good job of investing in those kids' life, and I really respect the way he operates, just as kind of a parental figure and as a head coach. So he does a really good job with that. And so I don't look at Dion as a guy that's going to call, like he knows Shador's got to go out there and kind of blaze his own path, and he's going to have to go out there and there's nothing that Dion can do for him. And it's not like Dion's got plenty of other things to occupy him with CU football. I just think that that's one of those overblown things. I think the bottom line is Shador doesn't have generational skill sets when it comes to athleticism. And then he really failed the pre-draft process. And henceforth, the reason he's a fifth rounder. But I still believe he'll get an opportunity, and we'll see what he makes of it.
Mark, it's always awesome to catch up with you, man. I know you got the Stinkin' Truth podcast out there, which I see all over your Twitter page. The one thing that's missing from your Twitter page is an argument with a fan base. That's some of the best stuff on Twitter. I haven't seen that in a little bit.
Yeah, I've been like I told you, I've been knee deep in NBA basketball, which is just killing me. So it is, just trying to watch it and.
Just no time for you to be a pest and piss people off.
Right.
It's some of the best reading there is, though. When he starts going back and forth with the Chiefs fans or Bengals fans, it just Mark answers just about everybody with a snarky remark, and then they often don't reply. That's where it ends.
Having been Mark's teammate, that's the least surprising thing that I would expect out of him.
Well, we look forward to football season when you get back into it with another fan base. I can't wait to see who it is. So check out the Stinkin' Truth podcast. Up until then,
I'll do a little trolling between now and then. See who I can get. I'll put a little big fish hook out there and see which NFL fan base I can catch.
Yeah. Well, check out the podcast, The Stinkin' Truth, and follow Mark on Twitter because, again, once he gets into it with the fan base, it's glorious. Mark, we appreciate you, my friend. Thanks so much for doing this.
Be well, guys. Take care.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go. Mark Schlereth, everybody. Always great stuff. If you missed any part of that or any part of the show, you want to go watch it again, you can check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, and you can search for Seattle Sports on all social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, all of it. We're on all of it. So all the conversations, interviews with players, Mariners, Seahawks, it's all right there. Meanwhile, has coaching been the difference for the Mariners? We're going to weigh in on that coming up next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Allowed the second fewest. Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Pacific Power Batteries understands batteries for golfers. Batteries for your car, your golf cart, and your bag's electric cart. We also sell good, used, 5-year-old E-Z-Go and Yamaha golf carts with a written satisfaction guarantee starting as low as $17.99. Located in Everett, Marysville, Mount Vernon, Bellingham, Monroe, and Wenatchee, you'll find our staff is well-trained in batteries and the latest charging technology. Pacific Power Batteries, with batteries for golfers.
Hey, it's Graz here. Getting a quick round or range session in before work makes the day so much more fun and is a big-time stress reliever. Take advantage of one of the 11 local premier courses nearby. Inner Bay, Jackson, Bill Wright, West Seattle, Cedar Crest, Bellevue, Linwood, Walter Hall, Legion Memorial, Lake Padden, and the newest course, the Ocean Shores Golf Course. Practice on the range with Top Tracer at Jackson, Inner Bay, and Bill Wright Golf Complex. Play the courses, play virtual, play premier, premiergolfcenters.com.
Hi, this is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. Spring has sprung. Need color to brighten up your yard or privacy trees to keep your neighbors guessing? Now is the time to buy. With hundreds of trees arriving in the nursery daily, Big Trees has the perfect tree for you. Check out our updated inventory list online at bigtreesupply.com or come visit the nursery today.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks to Mark Schlereth, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you guys are just tuning in and missed that conversation, he didn't disappoint. It's always very entertaining, and you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, wanted to put this out there. I'm going to be heading out to the Muckleshoot Casino on May 24th, another MMA event.
Yeah.
And they're having a contest for tickets. We were able to procure, they have these cage side seats that are like a couch.
Oh, wow.
So we were able to lock those up. We haven't had those before.
Can you actually, would somebody possibly bleed on you?
It's possible. You're
Okay.
you're close
That
enough.
close.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would happen to you if someone bled on you?
I've been sprayed before.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I did play-by-play a couple times at the Emerald Queen Casino.
Did you instantly go into quarantine, or did you go?
I was in a state of shock because it looked like somebody took a paintbrush and just flicked it. And I was wearing a white button-up shirt at the time, so it was just like ta 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 ta, and I was sitting there going, oh, now what?
Oh my God!
All over my notes, all over. Yeah, it was not good.
So when is this again?
This is, let's see, May 24th at the Muckleshoot Casino Event Center. It's Excite Fight MMA. So they're going to be giving away 2 exclusive ringside seats. You can go to seattlesports.com/win to enter. So it's going to be a fun night. They always do a great job with the shows, but it's going to be cool to be in these seats.
Muckleshoot is awesome.
Yeah, you go out there during the football season. It's a great casino.
It really is, and I stayed there one night, and it was fantastic. So, good.
So, yeah,
well,
get out
be
there.
Cool.
Yeah, go to seattlesports.com/win to enter. The contest ends Monday, May 12th, so you've got a couple days to do it. And, by the way, a couple highlights for the Mariners homestand here. Special ticket promotions going on. Tomorrow is College Night. Saturday is Maple Grove Night. Is that when Big Maple's going to throw out the first pitch? Yeah. James Paxton?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Saturday, Maple Grove Night. And then, of course, Sunday is Mother's Day. But coming up Monday, this is a big one. This might be a game Matt would attend.
Ooh.
It's Star Wars night.
I was going to say something nerdish.
It's Star Wars night on Monday. The Yankee series starts.
Yeah.
And I believe that might be the night that Adam Ray is throwing out the first pitch as well.
Oh, wow.
I think that's two good reasons to go.
Yes, Star Wars night, Matt.
Star Wars night, Adam Ray. I could get Moto Pizza. Maybe.
Who's your favorite Star Wars character? Is it Captain Kirk or is it? Oh wait,
I'm not going to dignify that with a response, quite frankly.
Lefko liked it.
He was going to do something stupid.
Lefko's cracking up.
Congrats, Dave. You made Lefko.
Was it Spock? I like McCoy. Yeah, he's good.
Bones.
You played that off well.
Bones McCoy.
Well,
anyway,
if there was ever a night for you to go to a game, it's Star Wars. I don't know what they're doing for Star Wars night. It's just Star Wars night. I don't know what.
I think people are going to dress up like furries. Right, Matt?
Well, not going anymore.
All right. There you go. A couple of things going on out there to keep you up to speed on. Meanwhile, for the Mariner fans out, and by the way, I have to say this. I was just scrolling through some of the texts. We asked the question earlier, if you're just tuning in. You know, everybody, we're all into the Mariners right now. They're red hot. They're first place. It's fun to watch. And we asked the question, would you rather, if you just had the power to pick right now this year, Mariners win a World Series or the Seahawks win a Super Bowl, where would you go? And Dave, I hate to tell you this. I think I saw 2 texts that said Super Bowl, and every other one was Mariners World Series.
Well,
it wasn't even close.
I would say this, that like I want this for those players, the Mariners, more than the Seahawks. But I mean, what am I going to do? Say baseball, Bob? Come on,
you could.
I'm an NFL guy.
Yeah, but you don't have to be that dogmatic about it. You could say, look, we've had it. We've been to the promised land 3 times. We've won once.
We want more.
You don't have to be so greedy. You're in the playoffs almost every year.
Hey, the last Super Bowl we were in, just bad taste. Bad taste.
Yeah.
So we got to wipe that one clean.
Well,
anyway,
along the same lines, not the same question. You guys can text in your answer to that if you didn't get that question earlier. But also, if you were somebody coming into the season, they hired Dan Wilson, and there were some doubters. There were some coming through the text, and there were still some, especially on the heels of the first game of the A series. But if you were a Dan Wilson doubter, has he changed your mind, or are you more of a let's see where they're at the end of the season? How do you feel if you were somebody that felt a little, I don't know, a little hesitation with that hiring? You love Dan. We all love Dan. There's nobody that doesn't like Dan Wilson.
No.
But if you were somebody that felt like, you know what, I don't know that he was the right hire, because we did see those texts coming through. So if you were one of those, how do you feel? Has your opinion changed, or is it too early for you?
Well, no. I mean, I've always been behind Dan Wilson, and I'm not trying to, be a kiss ass or anything. I just think that he was the right one for the job. So, yeah. What was that?
That was me.
Okay, that was one of those 2 knuckleheads in there. But I always thought he was going to be the right guy, and he's Mr. Mariner, and he's just calm demeanor, very reasonable guy, and everything. And I don't know, I liked Servais. Scott Servais was great, but you're starting to see now that I think the Dan Wilson supporters are being vindicated, because the message seems to be getting through, especially on the offensive side. And then I just love that they're getting so much, not consistently, but like a guy like Rowdy Tellez, which we kind of talk about. Well, when he doesn't really dive, he falls down. When he doesn't have a lot of range, he's great at picking the ball.
They didn't bring him in for his defense.
No. So, Yeah, I mean, I think him stepping up, Dylan Moore stepping up, he played fantastic the other day. Then, just the players that you normally wouldn't count on. And, JP, that just kind of came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, he's got, what is it, a 16-game?
15-game hit streak. Yep.
A lot of those, probably close to half of them are multi-hit games. So, yeah, I'm loving that part of it. And whenever you get the most out of, like, the ninth or, in football, the 22nd person, I feel like that's coaching.
Yeah, well, and then some of that goes to, well, all right, is that Dan or is that – because to me, I thought Servais is a really good manager. What he did with what he had, back-to-back years of 90 wins. He was a finalist for Manager of the Year twice. I mean, he was a very good manager. You can talk about what you didn't like about him, and that's fine. But considering what he was handed to work with, he got a lot done.
Yeah.
But they also had Brant Brown and Jarrett DeHart, and that clearly was a situation that didn't mesh. Not saying those guys don't know baseball. They know baseball inside and out. How they got their message out, that's where the question was, and it just didn't seem to take.
Well,
and so is the bigger impact Jarrett DeHart, Brant Brown being replaced by Edgar and Kevin Seitzer, or is the bigger impact Scott Servais being replaced by Dan Wilson?
Yeah. Well, I think the bigger impact is the hitting coaches, no question.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's part of good coaching is reading your players and knowing what they can and can't handle. So I remember, guys, and I got later in my career, I could pretty much handle any kind of coach, right? Because, when I first got to Denver, the guy there, John Paul Young, him and I kind of butt heads, and that was my 7th year. But then after about a month, I was like, okay, I'm the one that needs to change, and I'm going to, humor him and, play certain things or call certain things, like, why don't we call it this? Or, I was having to call the huddle and everything. So you get used to that later on. But I think early on in your career, it matters.
Yeah.
It matters what you're hearing.
Yeah, well, clearly. I mean, what they were hearing from Brant Brown and DeHart wasn't clicking.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. And the offense had been problematic for years. So we'll see if this sticks, if they can maintain it throughout the season. But right now, I would, and I love Dan Wilson, that more than anybody. He's just couldn't have been a nicer guy to me early in my career and just been a nice guy throughout the entire time I've known him. But I guess in terms of credit, the biggest slice of the credit I might give toward Edgar and Seitzer.
Yeah.
Just directly impacting an offense that
I would
there
agree.
was
Yep.
otherwise not one to be that excited about. All right, one move the Mariners made has immediately paid dividends. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do.
Incredible comeback again from this group.
At-bat by at-bat, and they find a way.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays. With Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife. The other day we had Andy Ryder. He's the mayor of Lacey, and he's a Swedish Cyberknife patient. We also had Dr. Landis from Swedish Cyberknife in the studio last week, and a couple of things that stood out about Swedish Cyberknife while we were standing around talking about it. Treatment. Number 1, it only takes 5 sessions. Andy was able to complete treatment in just 1 week, Monday through Friday, while continuing to work full-time, and each treatment session lasts less than an hour. And he was able to remain comfortable during the treatment. He could just come in and wear street clothes, didn't experience many side effects other than just getting a little bit tired. But if you compare that with other treatment methods where you have surgery or you have to have a catheter, it is night and day. And also, it was really cool to see the relationship between Andy and Dr. Landis. Andy held him in such high regard, and rightfully so. Dr. Landis is a multiple-time recipient of the Seattle Top Doctor Award. So we talk about building a sports team and trying to find stars all the time on the station. Swedish Cyberknife, they truly have that. It's an all-pro roster of doctors and world-renowned experts in their field. Swedish Cyberknife treats patients from all over the state, and also you don't need a physician referral. You can reach out to them directly. So if you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. Classes start May 14th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Hey guys, did you know that half of men over age 50 have erectile dysfunction on some level? Whether you have mild, moderate, or severe ED, West Coast Men's Health can help. We don't prescribe pills and hope they work. Instead, we treat the root cause of the problem with acoustic wave therapy, which breaks down plaque, unclogs arteries, and restores blood flow. We have treated thousands of men across our 11 locations nationwide and have established ourselves as a leader in the industry. So whether you have ED, Peyronie's disease, or suffer from chronic pain, such as neuropathy, carpal tunnel, or Dupuytren's contracture, West Coast Men's Health can help. No pills, no shots, no surgery, just results.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call West Coast Men's Health at 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Well, this turned out to be some pretty good timing. So Jerry Dipoto was on the Baseball Isn't Boring podcast.
Whose podcast is that now?
No idea.
Who said baseball is boring?
It's also just a lie.
There you go. Matt said it's boring. So he was on the Baseball Isn't Boring podcast, Matt, not your podcast.
My podcast is just Baseball is Boring.
Right.
It's just me being right for 10 minutes.
Yours should be Life is Boring.
Yeah. Well, that'd be a good
I mean,
one.
I think you think everything's boring.
Dave, you're boring. Will you be my first guest?
Except for Star Wars and Star Trek.
That's what you two will talk about, right. So he was on there yesterday morning. Though.
Don't you put that on me.
Okay. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I'll let Matt set it up now. He was on there yesterday morning before the Mariners game, before Leody Taveras had a big at-bat late in the game. But he kind of broke down with these guys why they were excited to bring him into this team.
You know, we committed pretty early internally, like, we're going to put in a claim, and I hope he gets to us. And you know, we were kind of surprised that he did. And he's 26 years old. He's a year and a month removed from a 2.5-win season, playing center field every day for the world champs. And he's a 65-70 runner. He's got a 65-70 hose. He has stolen 20-plus bags in a season. He'll give you 12, 15 homers, you know, and that's not considering the athleticism and the upside that he still brings to the dance at 26. And he's making a little bit of money this year, but he's under club control for the next 2 years, which makes it even more appealing to us. And right now, with so many players banged up and injured, we had real opportunity. And we thought this is an opportunity to try to cash in on a young guy in not too dissimilar a way to what we did last year with Victor Robles.
He's got a 60 to 70 hose, Dave.
Is that
that's his arm.
Out of 100?
That's his arm.
I
Yeah.
knew the hose part.
Okay.
65 out of 80.
Yeah, I think it's I just love that he threw in hose. He's got a hose.
Well, look, he came in and had an RBI single, stole a base, scored. I mean, looked good right away.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very low risk situation. I'm looking up his salary here.
Yeah, you said they have club control.
Well, he said he's making a little bit of money this year.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that means. And let's see if they've got it updated on Spotrac. Come on, $3.7 million.
That's a little bit of money.
In baseball dollars, that's a pittance. A pittance, Dave.
Sweeping the dial.
The Athletics' Bruce Feldman, who knows college prospects about as well as anyone, was on with Kevin Clark of ESPN on his This Is Football podcast, and he was describing one of the steals of the draft.
I thought Nicky Manwari should have gone higher.
Yeah.
He was like the freak of all freaks for me this past year. You mentioned Sean Taylor. He is a huge safety who ran 4.38 and broad jumped 11.6, and he makes a lot of plays. And I think I talked to like 3 different NFL defensive backs like in the weeks leading up to the draft. You know, the one of the 3 had concern about how is he as a 3-level safety and some of the stuff you're asking him to do. Safeties normally don't go that high. I think Imanwari, I think he's going to be an elite player who's going to go to a lot of Pro Bowls and be on a lot of highlights for a good way, not because he's missing tackles.
He's my favorite pick of the draft. And maybe that's just, recency bias because he cracked me up during his post-draft press conference initially when he's talked about all the teams that passed him up. He said they're all on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. He's just
what he said on our show.
Yes, when we interviewed him, and if you guys missed that, it was a great interview. He was very, very funny and had a comment on. You asked him about would you rather pick off somebody or flatten somebody, and he said it depends on who the player is. If it's a 49er, I'd rather flatten them. And that was unsolicited. We didn't say a word about the Niners, so I'm like, oh, this kid gets it.
Oh, incredibly. Yeah, I can see why they were so impressed. First of all, his size. Again, I was just telling somebody on the text, I think he actually is better playing the ball in the air than Cam early on. Cam got better at that.
Yeah, initially, I think that was a fair criticism of Cam.
Yeah, he had coverage problems, and then they paid him his, I remember thinking, wow, that's a lot of money for Cam Chancellor. Boy, I don't know about that.
Oh, he grew into it.
Oh, my God, did he? So, yeah, and then some. But, seeing everything that he can do. And then also, I feel like he's going to be a friend of the show. The guy's a great interview. I'm sorry, that matters. The guy's a thinker, man. The other thing is, I am not supposed to ask two questions at once. It's called a double barrel question. And he answered, I did it twice. I'm an idiot. What year is this for me? Like 14 or something on the radio?
It'll sink in at some point.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he answered both of them. I mean, you can tell a lot from an interview, but also just watch him on film, and that's enough.
Well, and just look, I know it's a lot to put on him to say he's going to be like Cam Chancellor, but if he's anything like that, if he's that kind of player, not saying he's going to match him or be as good, maybe he'll be better. We don't know, but if he's just that kind of presence, I think this team misses that. I think they miss that silent assassin back there, because Cam didn't say anything, but man, you knew where he was, and you knew what he was capable of.
I asked Cam one time when he was retired, I go, hey, why don't you come on and let's do an interview and maybe talk football? And he goes, what, and give away all my secrets? And that was it. That's all he said.
That was the end of that.
Okay, Cam. That's more words than I've heard him say his entire career.
Sweeping the dial.
After the start yesterday from Brian Wu, he kind of broke down what the mindset has been for this Mariners team that has led them to these 9 straight series wins.
I think it's just no quit, honestly. I think it's just relentless playing 9 innings of baseball. We get down early, I got punched in the mouth, and they come back and just kind of chip away. And, I think when you're, like I have kind of kept saying, but it's just consistency. You get down early or you get up early, it's just kind of keep playing the game, put up zeros on defense, and keep the pedal to the metal on offense. And it's been a lot of fun.
I can't wait till this rotation is back to full strength.
Yeah,
and seeing all of those guys, I will never forget. When I look back on this season, I'll remember Brian Wu fielding that barehander that he threw to first. That was unbelievably. You see what a great athlete he is.
Didn't look weird or awkward or.
No, man.
Some pitchers run off the mound. They look like everything's going to break, or they're going to pull every muscle in their body. Nothing looks natural.
No. So great kid, and it's funny to watch these guys become veterans. Because, he was a perfect rookie, said everything kind of like Ben Williamson. We talked to him the other day, but now all of a sudden you hear Brian's answers, and you can just tell the wisdom has sunk in, and he sounds like a veteran. And, I think he's going to be, if they can get those 5 back, especially, Bryce Miller has some work to do there. But you got Emerson Hancock has shown up really well, too. I can't wait for these pitching numbers to come back up closer to what they were last year.
Yeah, and hopefully they're able to do it while the offense is still rolling, because we talked about you expect it to come back a bit. We'll see what it does. But, that having that rotation in full going at full strength is going to be a game changer. All right, coming up, it has become a can't-miss part of the week. The next edition of the Raleigh Show is coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Nicky Manwari has been compared to Cam Chancellor, but have you heard another one that you think may be a better fit?
He's a mix between Cam Chancellor and a Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is a bit better when it comes to covering, and Cam Chancellor was just that pit bull roaming the block, ready to bite anybody who goes across the middle of the field. He has a little bit of both in him.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing.
We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey, it's Graz here. Getting a quick round or range session in before work makes the day so much more fun and is a big-time stress reliever. Take advantage of one of the 11 local premier courses nearby. Inner Bay, Jackson, Bill Wright, West Seattle, Cedar Crest, Bellevue, Linwood, Walter Hall, Legion Memorial, Lake Padden, and their newest course, the Ocean Shores Golf Course. Practice on the range with Top Tracer at Jackson, Inner Bay, and Bill Wright Golf Complex. Play the courses, play virtual, play premier, premiergolfcenters.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last dent. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last dent. Accurate Auto Body.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Taking a look at your baseball scoreboard. First of all, the Mariners have the day off after securing their 9th series win in a row, beating the A's yesterday in a comeback, ending down 5-0 and ending up winning 6-5. So they've got the day off. They will welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town starting tomorrow. You can hear it all right here. Seattle Sports on 710. We'll be broadcasting live from Edgar's Cantina, so come on out and say hello. Meanwhile, game's going on right now. Top of the 8th inning in Colorado. Tigers up 8-1 on the Rockies in Game 2 of their doubleheader. Rockies are 6-30 currently about to be 6-31 on the season. Top of the fourth in Tampa Bay, the Rays up 2-1 on the Phillies. They're in the top of the fourth in Atlanta, with the Braves up 1-0 on the Reds. Finals from earlier today, the Twins take out the Orioles 5-2. It was the Red Sox shutting out the Rangers 5-0. Royals hammer the White Sox 10-0. And in game one of the doubleheader, the Rockies got it handed to them by the Tigers 10-2 the final.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, again, the Mariners with the day off. They'll welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town starting tomorrow for that series, and they have been red hot. This has become a staple of the program. This has become can't-miss radio. It is time for the latest installment of the Cal Raleigh Show.
Here's Wyman, the pitch to Cal, swinging a drive. Way out of here to right field. Cal Raleigh with a home run.
He's the best catcher in baseball, and he's on Seattle Sports Thursday afternoons all season long on Wyman and Bob. It's the Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
With Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
It is the Cal Raleigh Show, and we are coming to you from Sacramento. Something I never thought I would say before. Let's start out with, it's hilarious, this is kind of a backstory. I decided we would do it out here in the bullpen for different reasons, shelter mostly. And I came out here and Cal was already here, and you didn't know that we were doing this out here. So that tells me you seek out spots, perhaps, in different ballparks. Where are your spots?
You pick different spots throughout the ballpark, and got here early today, and I knew I was getting here early for something that I forgot what it was, and it was this. And I was on the phone with my mom and just kind of taking it in, relaxing a little bit. This is a little different of a vibe, you know. Sometimes you can't go certain places because they're kind of too hard to get around in the stadiums or like coliseums, and you know they're massive, and this one doesn't feel that way, and a little more homey.
Kind of slow down the heart rate a little bit getting in here. Yeah. What was your favorite minor league ballpark to play in when you were coming up?
Ballpark itself, not city.
Yeah, the ballpark.
So we played in Frisco in Double-A. I thought that was a really cool park. They had a lazy river. Got to go in there one day after BP, and the bullpens were in the stands, which they forgot to build the bullpens when they were building the stadium, so they put them in the stands, and like people are all around you. It's kind of crazy, and so that was a pretty cool ballpark. I look back to like High A. I really enjoyed San Jose. I mean, the clubhouse was literally the size of. I mean, you were on top of people. Food was right there. Like guys changing right next to you getting food. Like crazy how small it was. But it just had that old feel with like the wood fences. Really fun. Just, you know, no room at all. You just friends with everybody. You forced to be. So Vancouver was pretty cool in short season. That was a great spot. They drew a lot of fans. Really cool park. Yeah. I guess those are some spots I really liked. Really liked Albuquerque. I thought that was a really cool stadium.
What's that? I have not seen that. What's that like?
They had the, you know, like an old Minute Maid park. They had the warning track of the hill going up.
Yeah, okay, okay.
And that was pretty cool. They had that and just, you know, lots of grass around it. Kind of a pretty stadium.
So you just kind of embrace it all, it sounds like, as you're going along.
Yeah, you do. And some are better than others, and obviously some are really, really bad. But you have fun with it, honestly.
If we get hit by the sprinkler here, I'm going to laugh. Last night's game, I thought we were going to see the ball fly all night long, and it didn't. How conscious were you guys of kind of the wind and the weather and everything else as that game was going on?
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, a PCL park, which is known for, you know, being hitter-friendly. So figured, you know, the ball would be flying, and it really wasn't, you know. I think it was flying a little more right, more so than it was left. Shea Langeliers hit a ball yesterday that I thought was way out of the stadium, and it barely got out.
Yeah.
And, you know, the wind was just howling in. Just don't hit to left field last night. So he cut it through, which was pretty impressive. But yeah, you know, you never know. Early in the season, weather's acting a little weird. Warm, cold, wind. it was definitely a little odd that it was blown in, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that became apparent pretty quickly. I want to ask you about, there were a lot of things in that game. We've covered them in different mediums, but I want to ask you about the catcher interference last night. You said it was the lace on your glove that they caught. I have feelings on that. I think that's silly. I don't see how that disrupts anything. I don't see how an umpire can even see that, which just, did you know that happened at the time?
I did not. I was not aware that it hit it. You know, looking back at the film, when you really zoom in, you can see my lace kind of go, but it's just crazy that, it's very impressive that he called that, you know. So if it did hit it, then that's a good call, but, you know, just tough in the moment.
So you're impressed with the eyes, huh?
I guess so.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah, I guess.
We won't talk about the ball one count.
Yeah, we won't talk about that one.
We won't talk about that. What are the things that you have to watch for, you know, to ensure against catcher interference? You don't see it very often, but
no, you don't.
What do you have to be conscious of?
We get a report. You know, we do a good job with our advanced scouts, and they do a good job of identifying, you know, guys with long backswings and the people who have catcher interference in the past, and it is a real thing. You know, Urias he's had a bunch of them, and you know, I just got ticked too close last night, and I should have backed up a little more. But yeah, it's just like any other thing with the scouting report. You know, you look at guys who have them, don't have them, things like that. So you know, that's like, I want to say that's like his 8th or 9th. And since he's been in the big leagues, so
I think I remember a couple when he was with the Mariners too. So you got to have that reverse scouting there. Andres Munoz. That was just electric. I mean, where was he when he struck out 3 in a row after the bases were loaded?
That was awesome. You know, I mean, tough situation coming in the game like that. And, you know, threw a pitch to Wilson there, singled, and the ball just didn't really sink. You know, the ball's here, I guess with the elevation, is not sinking as much, so you got to take that into account. So, but he put a good swing on it. Obviously gives up the run. The guy on second, starting on second, and then I went out there, and we didn't have any mound visits left, but I went out there and talked to him during that the review call and just told him, you know, hey, best on best. You know, whatever happens, happens, but, you know, give him your best stuff. And he went out there and got 3 huge bunch-outs, which was crazy.
It was a beautiful thing to see. He seems to be getting more and more, I mean, if the stuff isn't intimidating enough, he himself seems to be getting a little bit more intimidating out there.
Yeah, you know, I think it's just, you know, guys just learning and growing. And, you know, for as much service time as he has and time in the big leagues, you know, people forget he was hurt for a long time early on and dealt with some injuries. And so that's tough. And, you know, he's kind of been put into, you know, that role of closing from the very beginning as a young guy. And, you know, it takes time to learn that role. It's not something you can just be thrusted into and have success right away. A lot of guys have to learn, and you eventually evolve into that. And like I said, he's been doing high leverage innings like that for, you know, as long as he's been a Mariner. So, and that's pretty much his whole time in the big leagues. So it's very impressive, and he's continuing to learn and grow and get better, and he's doing a great job.
What's it like to have Matt Brash available again and in the clubhouse? And
yeah, I mean, it's great. Obviously, great having him back. Great stuff. But it's going to take a while. You know, it's not going to be the Matt Brash you've probably seen in the past in the sense of, you know, just come in automatically. And that's simply just because of the injury. You know, he's still going through some of that stuff, and you know, he's essentially, obviously, he's being brought back, you know, very, very early, which is good. It's good that he's healthy and it's good he's doing this, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's just having that feel. You know, you basically got a whole brand new arm, and you're learning again, you know, those feels and how to throw and those kind of like little nuances that you know about yourself. And he's just having to pick those back up again. And it's just hard when you're coming off injury like that. So, but he did a great job the other night, and you know, continuing for him just being put in situations to have success and, you know, keep throwing. And there's going to be ups and downs just because, you know, he's come back from that tough injury. So, but he's doing a great job, and, you know, looking forward to, you know, him helping us out.
He's taking the biggest step. He got back out there. He got into a game, and yeah, now you let him kind of get back to where he was.
Right.
It's hard to imagine being out that long.
It is, you know, and it's like, I mean, it's hard enough for a regular player or a pitcher to get their feel back coming from just a normal off season. And, you know, you look at that, it's a year and some change.
Yeah.
and you just basically having to, ramp back up. A lot of people don't understand the rehab process that you have to go through. You don't throw for the longest time, then you just start building your arm back up. You slowly build it, and then you got to go through. And it's not just the elbow you're rehabbing the shoulder, and it's just everything. It's really hard, and like I said, he will get the feel, get that feel back eventually, but understanding that it's going to take a little bit of time, but in the meantime, he's still threw really well the other day.
Yeah, still absolutely helped out. I want to take it back to the minor leagues again, since we are in a minor league park right now. Where do you think you got your most development as a player?
I'd say high Modesto,
Okay.
and now it's low A, right?
Yes.
Yeah, at the time it was high A, Modesto. I had some great coaches there, and they helped me out a lot. They helped me grow, and it was kind of my first full season as a pro, and learned a lot about myself, about pro ball in general, and it was very eye-opening, very fun.
We haven't talked about it in years. I think we did back in 2019, but you had the Truth Talk with Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just scowled at me. Do you not like talking about that?
No, I didn't scowl.
I thought you did.
Sorry.
It's okay. What would you kind of take from that you would like to see continue in the teaching? They basically put you two in a room and said, figure it out. Was that what it was?
Not necessarily. It was just kind of like, honestly, it was just very organic, really. It was just, we obviously had grown close, being roommates and learning each other and stuff, and basically was just telling him how I think he should do some things sometimes, and he was telling me how he should do some things sometimes, and we talked it out after a game one day. It was a long time. Everybody's pretty much gone. I think it was me, my pitching coach, and Logan, and we were just chatting it up and just talking and having disagreements about everything pretty much, and I think it was good. I think it was a good middle ground there where we met halfway, and I think the biggest thing is you just have to have those conversations sometimes, even if they're hard, and sometimes it's easier. It's just easier not to say anything or not to do anything as a teammate or friend, and sometimes you have to do those things that are a little uncomfortable, and also understanding that I'm not always right, he's not always right, or whoever it is, and but getting it out there and trying to figure things out is only gonna speed up the process instead of hinder it. So
You had a little bit, and it might have, a help and maybe a little bit of a hindrance because you were so close, and maybe it made it a little bit tougher early on to talk. But what's the most important thing you need to do to gain trust of a pitcher?
I think you gotta show the pitcher you care. You gotta put in time and effort. You gotta show that you're prepared. You have to show that you put in the work. That obviously the prep's there, but I think something my dad always told me: nobody really cares how much you know. They want to know how much you care. So I think that's always something that's kind of resonated with me in the sense of whoever it is, I could be the smartest guy in the world, but if I don't care about the guys, or I don't, show that I'm not invested in their careers, then they're not going to trust me. They're not going to, have that belief in me when I'm back behind the plate. So it's really about that. It's really about investing in them, investing in talking to them, being around them, trying to get the most out of them, trying to help, and as a catcher, like I said earlier, I'm not always right, but I do see the game in the sense of, how they're throwing the ball, how it's coming out, how the hitters are seeing it. I see trends and how they're looking, whether they're trending up or trending down or kind of just staying the same. So to me, I think number one, you gotta show that you care, and you gotta invest in them, and you have to be willing to put in that kind of relationship and that kind of work to where it starts. So
who do you talk to when you've got questions about those things?
We talk a lot, staff, Garv. Obviously, I love getting another catcher's perspective, and I think that's something, that's huge. Having is, another set of eyes that I think is really good. Game caller, guy's been around, Mitch Garver. So, there's more. He brings a lot to the table in that sense. Obviously, I got Dan in there as well. I got pitching coaches. Obviously now we have all the analysts, so I can match things up with my eyes and see how it looks. So you're constantly talking with those guys as well as the pitchers themselves, because they are the guys out there doing it. So, just kind of mixing and trying to figure out how to get the best out of each guy each night and what you may or may not have to do to try to pull that out of them.
Yeah, it's definitely a team approach, but
I think
one forward.
Early on in my career, I always wanted to be the guy. I wanted to dictate everything, or I wanted to be very hands-on at the same time, but it's like, this is a team effort, it's not, it's like a manager or head coach, or it doesn't matter what sport it is, right? You got to be able to, give other people room to let them do their jobs, and you have to be able to take that info, and maybe sometimes I need to be told, all right, that's not exactly right, or vice versa. So understanding that and just trying to get the best out of everybody each night. So
yeah, people management is a real thing.
It really is. I mean that's why you see a lot of catchers that become managers, because they're kind of managing pitchers and other things as well. So
do you remember about the first time you met Logan? Do you remember where it was?
He got sent to Everett back when it was a short season, but I wasn't there yet, so we never met in Everett. We ended up meeting for the first time at a thing called HPC camp, high performance camp, in the off season of 2018, and we were roommates there, and we met. That's where we met and got to know each other. He was just coming off of he had mono, I believe.
Yeah. Hellacious case of mono.
Yeah, he had a bad case of mono, so he wasn't even, he didn't pitch, he didn't do anything. They just sent him home and said, get better, and yeah, he was like bedridden for a while.
It was bad,
a long time.
Did they put you together as roommates?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, they did. So I remember it was me, him, and two other guys that were in a little 2-bedroom apartment across the street from the sports complex in Peoria.
Were you able to make lasagna back then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of my staples.
Yeah.
It was one of my first things to learn.
Okay.
So.
Okay. What have you added to the repertoire?
Honestly, not much. I grill a lot more than I actually cook, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Italian's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Tacos, crock pot.
Okay.
Things like that. So, but mainly more on the grill, more so than stuff in the kitchen.
It's a valuable skill.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you threw to Logan?
Yeah, it was probably sometime in spring training. So that camp wasn't a baseball camp necessarily. It's more about learning pro ball, ins and outs, taking care of your body, lifting, running, conditioning, stuff like that. So I'd say the first time is probably in the spring of 2019 when I got sent down from big league camp. I caught him sometime and just remember seeing how giant he was on the mound.
That's a lot different than just hanging out with him and working alongside him.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure you've never seen anything like that at that point.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you can tell early on like this guy's a horse. Yeah. You see certain guys and you're like, this guy was built for pitching, or just a guy you just hand the ball to and just go get him.
Yeah, it was. I remember young Logan.
Yeah.
He said that actually the first time he threw to you was in that HP camp.
It might have been in that.
But
HP
it was
camp.
a little bit of a different situation. He said it was in the weight room.
In the weight room?
He said
threw
you
to me in
guys
the
were
weight room?
messing around in the weight room, and he said that he had a tennis ball in his hand, and you got down in the crouch and said, let's go.
Really?
And so he was firing tennis balls at you, and that was the first time you caught him, was a tennis ball.
I mean, he's got way better memory than me.
And there was some talk about, we're going to do this in the big leagues in a few years and whatnot. And people around you were saying that as well.
I have no
That's
idea.
the story he gave. It was pretty cool.
We can go with that. That's a better story, I guess. It sounds like him. He's always throwing, messing around, dry
with or
reps.
without a ball.
Yeah. So, I'm always doing that stuff too. It's like those funny videos you see. It's like when your mom's taking you in the store and she starts yelling at you because you keep fake swinging and fake throwing, or doing double plays, whatever.
Oh,
it is.
that's awesome.
My mom would always get mad at me because I'm doing that all the time. Just
one-track mind.
Yeah, as she's cooking dinner, she's like, "Get out of my way!"
That sounds like a future Mariners commercial. And by the way, I think I've told you, you guys are fantastic.
That's a good idea.
There you go. Lastly, I'm just doing a wellness check. I'm going to guess you're okay because that mad dash home last night. But the feet okay after the cowboy boot incident?
The cowboy boot incident? Oh, jeez. Yes, feet are great. Just didn't have a little boot jack there, so to help get my boots off. So I had to have somebody. I got some new boots in Texas.
Okay.
So,
We're not prepared, Cal.
I was not prepared. and could not get them. I mean, I could have got them off by myself, but it would have been. I mean, it would have taken all my might to get them off. So I had somebody help me pull them off in the lobby the other day. So
I don't ever want to see an IL stay because somebody pulls something trying to get a boot off.
it was not a player, not a player. It was a trainer helped me.
Okay, and that's what the trainers are there for. Very good.
They're always around to help.
Cal, be more careful this week, okay?
We'll try.
There you go, the Cal Raleigh Show, which is presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, and you catch it every Thursday here with Wyman and Bob, our Mariners insider Shannon Dreher, speaking with Cal each and every week, and it airs here. And I was unaware of the cowboy boot incident. He got boots on and couldn't get them off, so he had to have a trainer help pull them off.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I guess it makes sense that he has cowboy boots. You ever own a pair of cowboy boots?
No.
Yeah.
No. Did you?
Yeah.
Maybe as a little kid I might have had them. I don't know, but not as a functioning adult.
There's no chance that either of those two in there have ever had cowboy boots.
God, no.
Lefko.
No, and I lived in
Matthew.
Texas for 3 years.
That's right.
Were you tempted?
No.
You're like, those don't look so bad. I could play pickleball in those.
That would be interesting. Quite a getup if you go out there on the pickleball court. That might be the only way Ryan Roland-Smith could beat me if I wore cowboy boots.
I don't know. You saw him firing those shots back at his kid.
Yes.
Oh,
if that's his competition.
Cracked me up. I don't know why. Like he said, Ryan Roland-Smith sent all three of us a video from his perspective, so you don't see him. All you see is his view of the camera looking over the net at his little son on a pickleball court. He's like, "You ready?" He's like, "All right." His son hits the ball to him, and he just smashes the ball back to him. And he just titled it, Getting Ready for Lefko.
Well, and Bob, you had a good theory. That think how much pre-planning went into that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, mate. Hey, go over there. All right, toss the ball to me.
How many times
did
did
he hit it now?
How many times did he hit his son?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're all right. You're all right. Let's do it again.
I like that you put the "hey mate" in there.
I just like that his son was a prop for the video, getting ready for Lefko. So good. All right, coming up, the Mariners are in the midst of a historic stretch, and we're going to tell you what that's all about. Coming up next with Wyman and Bob, this is Seattle Sports on 710.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do.
Incredible comeback again from this group.
At bat by at bat, they find a way.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays, with Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Since time immemorial, the Puyallup Tribe of Indians have lived on what is now called Puget Sound. The Puyallup Tribe is a sovereign nation of more than 6,000 members and one of the largest employers in Pierce County. Today, the Puyallup Tribe continues to serve its members and community with generosity and is committed to building a sustainable way of life for future generations. Learn more at puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Making an Impact, sponsored by Granger. Gen Space is an LA-based senior center unlike any other. 85-year-old founder Wallace Annenberg knew how much it was needed.
I was going to do something that specialized, certainly, in an older generation that would be interested in coming together like this.
For the ones who get it done, Granger offers professional-grade supplies and solutions, made for every industry and backed by product experts. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine, and you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
In case you guys just tuned in and missed the Cal Raleigh Show, we had that in the last segment. It'll be on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, Mariners with the day off. They'll welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town starting tomorrow. We'll be broadcasting live from Edgar's Cantina, so come on out, say hello. We'll be out there watching this team go for their 10th straight series win. 10 in a row is what we're looking for. They've won 9 in a row, obviously. You got to win 9 before you get to 10, Dave. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was different.
Yeah, no,
it's baseball.
Still goes 9 to 10.
I can't wait for it to go to 11.
These go to 11. Yeah, we're going to have to definitely, if they get to 11, we're going to have to pull the sound bites.
Mike has some kind of thing going about 9, and did you have a 10 thing?
Well, it was an easy Ferris Bueller poll when they won 9 in a row.
9.
So I put that
9 times.
That was good.
9 times.
Hopefully we can get to 11.
That was from Ed Rooney.
Yeah, that's right. Why don't you just put it higher and have it go to 10?
Make 10 louder. Well, these
This
go to
goes
11.
to 11.
Both these guys are going, I don't have any idea what you're talking
Dave
about.
played the
Tap.
whole-
Hold
Dave
on.
played the whole clip for me.
You watched Spinal Tap?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
My bad, Matt. All right.
How
All
dare
right.
you?
All
Quite
right.
frankly.
All right. I forgot he's a connoisseur of fine media, so he understands a good movie when he sees it.
You
Now,
gotta see-
Lefko.
Lefko's in the dark. He has no
Lefko,
idea what
what's
we're
the matter
referring
with
to.
you? Come on, get on that. That's assignment for tonight.
Okay.
You need to
Spinal
watch
Tap.
Spinal Tap. It's classic. But so they're going for their 10th straight series win. They won a franchise record 15 in a row back in 2001. That's the year they won 116 games, set the mark, set the record. Unfortunately, it didn't result in a World Series win or a World Series appearance, for that matter. But
was it the Indians they lost to in that?
I think it was the Yankees they lost to that year.
Yeah,
to
that's
get the
right.
World
They
Series.
beat Cleveland.
Yeah, so I don't know. Let's hope this is a different outcome, but so they've got that. This is as hot as they've been in terms of winning consecutive series since 2001, 24 years ago? Is that still 24 years, Dave?
Something like that.
24 years ago. And then 22-14, which is where they're sitting right now after 36 games. That's the best record after 36 games since 2003. So they're some milestones franchise-wise that they are reaching so far this year, which is really impressive.
Take yourself back to the offseason. During free agency period.
Yeah.
Would you have ever thunk it?
Not in a million years.
Yeah.
Hated their offseason.
You know what? I hope that, because here's what we've talked about quite a bit, is it the coaching? Is it Seitzer and Edgar and Dan? And I don't mean to make it sound like, and Dan in there too. You get in there
it's
too,
the
Dan,
hitting
but-
that's been the biggest difference, though. So
Exactly. So it's coaching. Isn't that kind of what we're hoping for with the offense for the Seahawks? It's coaching.
Yeah,
especially offensive
absolutely.
line. I mean, then that's kind of what we sort of settled on. They didn't do much as far as free agency goes. I mean, they're not done, but all the big players have come off the board, and so that's something we asked John Schneider about quite a bit. That how much can the coaching help? It's a tremendous amount. I mean, if you're getting the best, and that's what Dan and company is doing with the Mariners right now, getting the best out of the players, whatever they're, the best they have, which everybody is really good. That's in Major League Baseball, right? But some don't live up to, or they don't play up to the next level, and he's getting them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. A lot of players, they don't ever realize their potential. It's certainly sometimes it takes change of scenery. They go elsewhere. It happens. Sometimes it doesn't for whatever reason. So yeah, I think coaching is absolutely crucial. I think a lot of it, if we're being fair, you have to give to health, because your two biggest turnarounds and your two best hitters currently, Jorge Polanco and J.P. Crawford, both injured last year.
Yeah.
Obviously impacted by those injuries. Polanco still dealing with injuries this year, even just now starting to hit from the right side of the plate because of injury. So, what they're doing, how much of what they're doing is what they're hearing from Edgar and Seitzer, and how much of it is just, hey man, I just feel good. I'm not trying to compensate for a bad knee or bad oblique or whatever the injuries were. So I think there's a lot of it as it pertains to those two. You're waiting to see, does this impact, Luke Raley when he gets back, because he was off to a really poor start. Does it impact Julio? Continue. We talked about he's kind of sneakily getting hot when you look at it. He's got at least one hit in 14 of their last 18 games. He's, awesome. He hasn't.
No strikeouts.
Not a single strikeout in the last 6 games. Not a single strikeout in the month of May.
Entire month of May.
Yeah, so back-to-back games with multiple hits. He's just kind of quietly getting hot while, he's home run here and there. He's ahead of his home run pace from last year, so you're seeing the average start to go up. But you see a lot of these, a number of guys in the lineup that have the average around the low 2s, but their on base is off the 360, 350, it's crazy to see that disparity, like with Garver and with Rosarena and some of these guys. The average isn't where you want it to be, but the on base is there. So, and more importantly, we talked about the differences we've seen. They're not stranding. It doesn't feel like we're looking at those box scores every night of 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
8 left on base, 10 left on base, 12 left on base. They've just done a better job. They had traffic last year. because there were all of those box scores we looked at where they left 10, they left 12, they left 8. They were, 2 for 14 with runners. They had runners in scoring position 13 times, 14 times. They couldn't bring them in. So they were still good at getting on base, maybe not at the clip they are now. They just couldn't drive them in. That's what made it even worse, is you're looking at it going, all right, it's one thing if you just don't even have opportunity. It feels almost worse to have the opportunity to have a runner there on third base. You're down by a run. You got him sitting there. You got the bases loaded, nobody out, and you walk away with nothing. Somehow you had the bases loaded, nobody out, and you came out of that inning without plating a single run.
Yeah.
And that happened more than it should have. So that, to me, has been one of the biggest differences. It's just, getting traffic again, but they're bringing guys in.
Well, and I know also, as far as the coaching part of it goes, that Dan was under fire the other night for the game where
against the A's, the first one.
Put the couple base runners on base, but as far as like the decision, I don't know how much sort of room the players have to make the decision on their own as far as stolen bases go, or is that pretty?
Yeah, well, I mean, some guys have the green light. Some guys have it. Hey, you think you can get there, you get there. Some guys are looking for the signal.
But Mitch Garver has too.
Yeah,
are those green lights? Do you think?
I don't know that he's got the green light. I don't know. I don't know how they do. That'd be an interesting question to talk to Dan about. Like, who's got just absolute? Hey, if you see it, go for it. And who do you say? Look to your coaches. Look to your coaches. They'll let you know when to take off. But.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, and like you said, it's different for different players, but they've stolen 43 bags this year. I mean, they're tied for third in all of Major League Baseball. So that's another coaching decision, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think we've talked a lot about Edgar, and I know that Dan, everybody's going to look at every last little move that he made, and he had one that was kind of rough the other night, but, that's a decision. And then again, I just, if you had to define what a coach is, it's somebody who gets the best out of the players that he has, and that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, they've been amazing with what they've done, because I think if you look at their lineup top to bottom, there aren't a lot of names in there going, look out for that guy. It's not like you're looking at the Dodgers lineup or the Yankees lineup, yet what they're getting done is beyond impressive. I think that's what gives some fans hesitation or a bit of reservation about jumping in head first and saying, I love this team, they're great, because they're expecting them to regress. They're expecting them to come back to the pack, and some guys will. I mean, I don't think Polanco's going to hit at this clip the entire season. No. I don't think Leo Rivas is going to have a 500 on base. It's just some of that stuff is going to come back, and at some point, J.P. Crawford's not going to have a hit in a game. Right? He's not going to have a 132 game hit streak. So it's going to happen. But hopefully, again, when those things happen, the other guys that have been maybe a little cool step up a bit. Hey, by the way, the Mariners are back for 6 games at home starting tomorrow against the Blue Jays. Sunday is Mother's Day, and the first 10,000 moms will take home a Mariners-themed clear structured purse. No, you can't have one, Lefko. This is for moms out there. Monday, by the way, Matt, is Star Wars night, and fans who purchase tickets through the online ticket special will receive a limited edition Mariners-themed Rebel Alliance button-up shirt.
Not going to be giving out a lot of smalls of that shirt, are they? Hope they ordered the upper sizes.
You think?
Put your phasers on stun, okay? Wait, what?
Get a second joke.
Well, no,
look at Lefko, still loves it. He's still cracking up.
It was a combo of Matt's line leading into Dave's. That was a good one. This is very accurate, I think.
You can go to mariners.com/tickets for more info. Would you be interested, Matt, in a Rebel Alliance shirt?
I'll wear anything Star Wars.
Okay.
Truly.
I was trying to procure a Joker bobblehead for you.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll see if we can find that. So there you go, mariners.com/tickets. Meanwhile, we learned that our show might eventually be responsible for creating an international incident. That's coming your way next. What we learned with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
You know, after years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always, go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman here, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were opened to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy with Dr. Wagner. It helps with severe osteoarthritis, including bone-on-bone, loss of cartilage, even rotator cuff, labrum, and meniscus tears. And really, it's about getting people back to doing all the activities they love without pain and without surgery. Dr. Wagner's 60-minute outpatient procedure uses your own stem cells, which can regenerate your own cartilage in your own joints. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience, and he's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. And he's one of the few doing it the right way. So whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Get the facts, then get back in the game at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. You know, Dave, I love sport. You love sport. And I love sitting with coaches and hearing their game plan each and every week. What are the keys to a First Mark Insurance game plan?
It's a great question, Brock. I think there's really 3 keys to a great game plan with us. Number 1 is we want to make sure that our clients have the correct coverage for their unique specific needs. So that's number 1. Do you have the right coverage? Number 2, once we have the right coverage, are we getting that coverage at the most competitive price possible? And then last and not least would be, once we have the right coverage at the most competitive price, are we providing world-class service to those customers so that when they need it, they have someone there that's got their back?
Those are the 3 keys to a First Mark Challenge victory. And man, am I so glad Molly and I took the challenge. We are one of so many through a decade plus of being a First Mark Challenge victory. You can too. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com, firstmarkinsurance.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
All month long at a casino not far away, a share of over $98,000 in cash and prizes is rocketing your way. Embark on an epic quest for cash every Saturday in May at Silver Reef, with 2 winners destined to be drawn every hour from 7 p.m. till midnight. It's the return of the envelope, and that means galaxy-sized fun. Claim 1 free daily entry. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 62225. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
This is a house of learned doctors.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What did we learn today?
No one's a bigger idiot than me.
Stupidity is the easiest way out.
While attention for the show is always good, I don't know that we want to be at the center of an international incident.
Yeah.
So what is it that we're treading dangerous water?
We're gonna have to hold our breath because on Tuesday we'll learn if the Seahawks are playing overseas, and then Wyman Unleashed in London. We learned that might not be a good thing.
By the way, I would like to go to England. I think that would be cool. I think it'd be cool to have an overseas game.
Well, I know you want to go.
Don't you hate the British accent?
I can't understand it.
So you want to go to a country where you couldn't understand it?
Most countries have language I can't understand.
Yeah, I don't,
including
like
this one. Yeah, see, Mike kind of beat me to the punch there. I was going to say including this one, and America, he had to cut me off there. It's just a race for the punchline.
Yeah.
That's all. Just a race. Well done, Mike. You won.
You got there first.
No,
could have gone Canada, but he went to America. So there you go.
I had this lady when we were in, was it 2018 when we went to England? Anyway, she was like explaining something to me, and I was like, I'm sorry. And then she said something, and I was like, again? And then finally I was just like, okay.
I just
turned and walked away.
Tell her you don't speak English.
Yeah. No, you know what it was? It was my check, and she was bringing me the receipt and everything. So I think at the end I said, can I go?
Are the words over?
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah, I have a tough time with the English accent.
Well, what are you going to do if they end up going there?
Well, I'll just have to have an interpreter with me at all times. Rabel.
I can. He can decipher the accent.
Apparently.
English to Wyman.
Yeah, he's from Louisville, Kentucky. So very sophisticated.
He's a wordsmith. That's what they do out there. What else did we learn?
We learned that we have quite a stretch of promotions coming up.
Can you actually? Would somebody possibly bleed on you?
It's possible. You're
Okay.
you're close enough.
Close.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would happen to you if someone bled on you?
I've been sprayed before.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Did play-by-play a couple times at the Emerald Queen Casino.
Did you instantly go into quarantine, or did you go?
I was in a state of shock. A couple highlights for the Mariners homestand here. Coming up Monday, this is a big one. This might be a game Matt would attend. It's Star Wars night.
I was going to say something nerdish.
It's Star Wars night on Monday. The Yankee series starts.
Yeah.
And I believe that might be the night that Adam Ray is throwing out the first pitch as well. I think.
Boy, that's two good reasons to go.
Yes,
Star Wars night, Matt.
Who's your favorite Star Wars character? Is it Captain Kirk, or is it... Oh, wait.
I'm not going to dignify that with a response, quite frankly.
Lefko liked it.
He's going to do something stupid.
Lefko's cracking up.
Congrats, Dave.
Mr.
You made
Spock.
Lefko.
Was it Spock? I like McCoy. Dave's so proud of that
I got
one.
Lefko on my side. He laughs at anything. I mean,
He's
easily amused.
Dave is so proud of that one.
He's still proud of it. Look at his face.
Lefko's still laughing back there.
Oh, you think it's because I'm making the joke? It's not. It's because I'm anticipating your reaction. That's what I. It's just he just gets so annoyed, and I just love that I can annoy him.
Yeah, you do it well. You do it easily.
Yeah,
it's a talent he has.
Yeah, it's a skill. Does he annoy you more than most other people, or is it just on par with?
Hey, wait, I'm here, Bob. Excuse me.
I know, but
talk about me behind my back,
the question
please.
is directed to him, so.
He cracks the top 10.
Yeah.
I'll give him that much.
Are the other 9 people that you work with?
I can hear
number
you.
one's in the room with me.
There's definitely
It's
there's a
number
number
one in
next
the
to
room with us
Lefko's
now.
name.
Lefko and I are 1A and 1B.
What else did we learn?
We learned that Salk has kind of a terrifying laugh.
It never happens. It's always disgusting. And then when the message gets delivered downstairs, something gets lost in translation. That never happens.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a word he said. I was so distracted by Salk's evil villain laugh.
I was going to say,
what the hell's he laughing at?
The devil's laugh.
He sounded like this sinister character, like he's old school tying somebody to the train tracks. He's got one of those little handlebar mustaches. He's twirling it, going.
And I can tell you, we're 0 for 15. It never happens. It's always.
The hell was that?
Mike should have like a thin little mustache that he's twirling while he says that.
Oh, you slay me, Daniel Jeremiah.
What was the guy's name? Dastardly?
I don't know.
And Muttley?
Wasn't that just a common theme, or was that specific to that? I thought it was just an old reference to a villain tying a damsel in distress to a train track.
Yeah.
And they always had the curly Q mustache. And
Dastardly Whiplash. That's
the character?
Yeah.
You're thinking of Snidely Whiplash.
Well, according to the internet, which is never wrong, this says Dastardly Whiplash.
This is Matt looking it up. What's going on?
Yeah, he is.
I'm looking it up. I'm curious now.
This is compelling stuff.
All right. Well, why they
Play the
looked
next
that up?
clip.
Yeah. What else did we learn, Lefko?
We learned that I guess Dave and I did not do a good enough job massaging Paul Moyer's ego.
A man of wisdom, a man of experience, Dave. Paul Moyer is with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. How are you, Paul?
I missed you, Bob. I didn't get quite that introduction last week. It was.
Did they cheat you?
Dave and Lefko just I was like, yeah, Paul's on.
We got this guy, Paul.
There's just lots of jealousy over that. We
just didn't give him the proper fanfare.
That's right.
He's used to a certain level of adoration when we bring him on.
Yeah.
And you guys just went, all right, joining us now is Paul.
Yeah, we just didn't make the big deal about it this time, because Bob's not here, his number one fan.
We forgot he was a man of experience.
That's right, Mike. He is a man of experience. All right, there you go. That's everything? That's everything.
Dastardly
All right.
Whiplash.
Coming up, he might be a little grumpier than usual. We'll catch up with the one, the only Mark Schlereth about everything happening around the Seahawks and the NFL. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
Nicky Manwari, how do you see them using him?
I think they'd love to put him at that second level. Does it allow them a little freedom, Salk, to put Spoon back outside a corner, right? Where you can have some real strength with Reek and him. And this dude around the line of scrimmage, cleaning stuff up on aisle 9. Yeah, man, there's a lot of excitement about just molding that kind of talent.
Blue 88, every day at 7:45. Answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
Since time immemorial, the Puyallup tribe of Indians have lived on what is now called Puget Sound. The Puyallup tribe is a sovereign nation of more than 6,000 members and one of the largest employers in Pierce County. Today, the Puyallup tribe continues to serve its members and community with generosity and is committed to building a sustainable way of life for future generations. Learn more at puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in Seattle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Want to get rid of clutter and reclaim your space? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling for the greater Seattle area. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We prioritize donating and recycling, so we'll look for opportunities to do just that instead of going to the landfill. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat-freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Blue 80, set up! And I snap the ball, and there's just this horrific splash.
It's time to join the stink tank.
The analytics people that I hate your guts. They don't